Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hey, it's Leah Sparks, and keep listening to Can Crushers because they are awesome and they have even more sparkle than I do.
Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. That's Sir Michael Jenks. I'm Mark the Mark. Have you had too much wrestling?
No. God, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Hell no.
What a week. I've read a little bit online. People are like, oh my God, so much wrestling in one weekend, da-da-da-da-da. Ballparking, I think it's 25 hours. SmackDown, ROH, da-da-da-da-da, down the line.
Yeah.
Give me 50. Double this bitch.
Make it every day. I mean, WWE was making it a whole day on Saturday. Go stand and deliver all the way through. But
And I'll tell you, I dedicated my whole Saturday to it. I watched everything live Saturday.
yeah, nice.
Minus Collision. I couldn't pull the Collision button.
Collision was not going to happen at 11:30 at night.
It's actually later.
Yeah, that's fair.
By the time everything rolled around, because I started at 11:30 on the DVR, but I thought, all right, half an hour. It's not going to run over more by half an hour.
Right.
Which, trust me, I wouldn't have cared anyway. When we get to the AEW segment, I didn't get Penta and Commander, which, no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, right. I feel like that's the match you least wanted to see.
Touche, my friend. You know. We'll get to the wrestling talk, but you know we have to do this first. How was your week, my fine friend? You're looking dapper today, by the way. I don't know what you did. Have a dapper look.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know. I mean, today's been fun. This week has just been the eclipse over the week on Monday, but Erie was ground zero for the eclipse, like hundreds of thousands, I think. They're running hotels at $1,000 a night up here, as far south as Meadville, which is like 45 minutes away.
People were rolling through here to get up to there, just to let you know, because I needed snuff Saturday before Stand and Deliver, so I went down to Sheets to get a roll of snuff. People were like, hey, are you from here? I'm like, yeah. What's the fastest way you get to Erie? Like, out of the fucking blue. So I knew where they were going. I'm like, I go this way. Oh, it says you can go 80, 79. I said, that's like an extra hour out of your way.
Yeah.
It might be speed faster, but time faster. If you go my, like, crooked little routes, you'll get there in the same amount of time.
Yeah. There was 79 was packed on Monday just for people coming up for the day to see it and everything.
Stupid.
So, I mean, it was cool to see, but it was like, okay, it's cool to see, but we only were outside a half hour at my house. Like, everything shut down. The government.
Did it get dark for you?
It was a weird dark. It was like a sunset dark. So most of the sky was black, but then the horizon had the sunlight around it. So it was almost like a mirroring of the eclipse kind of thing. It's hard to describe, but like the horizon was sunlight and then it was black on top of the skies. But for us, what was really weird is a tree in my front yard blooms flowers before it turns green leaves. So I don't know what tree it is. I'm not a botanist. I got no clue. But the bees were in it. There was a bunch of bees in it. There was a lot of them. And they were buzzing, pollinating, doing whatever they do. They weren't bothering anybody. As soon as it got dark, dead silent. So you want creepy creepiness.
Whoa, it was real then, because I heard like it was just real. Animals and stuff.
Exactly. It was like the Undertaker's gong went off, and then it went silent, and then when the light came back, there were bees again. So it was ridiculous. It was so weird. Outside of that, the dogs agree. Outside of that, it's been a decent week. I think everything was off because of the eclipse. They say that some things are just, you get weird.
Yeah.
During the week after and all that.
Very true.
Yeah. But today.
Time fucks with everybody, apparently.
Time messes big time with people. Today has just been a whirlwind of car issues and things are going on, and we're done with that. Lock the doors. Like we're home for the night. We're relaxing. We're going to come. Everybody's going to relax, and then we'll come back tomorrow swinging. So, how was your week?
To jump on the whole apocalypse and everything, down here, it didn't get any darker than a mid to moderate thunderstorm. I'll put it that way. Oh, okay. Everybody has those. It's not a horrendous thunderstorm, but it got around this time like 6 o'clock dark. Like it was nothing. I went out. I didn't peek at the sun because my two hooligans, of course, had to go out within that hour span. Yeah. They knew something was up. So I just kind of like roamed around with my head, looked around, and I'm like, this is nothing. Okay. I thought me and Chris Bosch was coming out and the rest of the Raptors or something like that, but no, not at all. Otherwise, it's been a wet week, and I got sick of it real quick as recording today. Went in for 2 hours, jumped into the swimming pool, came home, said peace out. This is that wet. I'm like, listen, I don't know how much is done or what else needs done. I'm going home. Nobody answered me. Nobody gave me the okay. As of recording, I still don't know if I'm allowed to leave right now, but I left.
Silence means yes.
Yep, exactly. I could have still been standing by the time clock and not being able to leave at 1 o'clock either. So
yeah.
So I just peaced out. Overall, though, for wrestling and everything, it was a great week. It really was. I don't have much hot topics. I mean, we can go down a couple random paths, but I do have one, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
Okay.
The date that I hear is July 19th. Our game.
Yeah.
That is the start of the American Legion tournament for Region 8.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks for you, my friend. But it's not been confirmed.
It has not been confirmed. It is not. So that was the only one in July that I'm like, please not that. Because this is a commitment. Everybody knows it's listened to the podcast for a while. So one of my things, stats, do all that, part of the board. That was the only one. So hopefully it either goes, it won't be 4th of July weekend. So hopefully it gets bumped until, the 12th or 26th or something. Yeah. Would be great. Because I'm already off from the 19th to the 23rd. I mean, I could add one more day, clearly, to take that Wednesday off and take that day to play. But, yeah.
Yeah.
But I did get great news this week.
What's that?
Come up at the end of the month and see you.
Yeah, that was great. That was a nice surprise. What was it, yesterday you texted me about that? I'm like, oh, shit. Coming up. Now, it's a day trip, right? So, up and back, or what do you, Yeah,
up and back. It's, everybody's like, what are you guys talking about? I have a pool class. My license needs renewed, so I have to go sit through an 8-hour class talking about swimming pools. Fun. But, the closest one, essentially, prior to our pool opening, is Erie.
Yeah.
Or I could have waited till my license expires in September and go to Hermitage. Those are the two closest ones.
Oh, my God.
So I said, hey, let me look at the dates. I looked at the dates, and I'm like, April 25th. The Howlers are home. I know somebody else that doesn't mind going to a Howler game. Maybe a couple other people would pop in, too. I'll take the Erie one. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, why not? They're like, well, we were going to try to do one on Zoom in June. I'm like, no. No.
That's not fun.
I'll do the April one. That's fun.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. Essentially 2 weeks we'll be able to, I'll be ready too, by the way. So be prepared. And I'm going to buy my new hat then.
Oh yeah, you got to buy the new hat.
I definitely got to buy the new hat, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not playing well right now. Well, not that they're not playing well right now. They haven't had the opportunity to play well or bad because I've seen like 3 or 4 games already. It's April and Erie.
Yeah, well, yeah, April and Erie, you're fighting for your lives at this point.
Right.
Trying to get a good game in. To be honest, I think they're under 500, right?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, yeah. They're not that far under 500, but I know they are under 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit moved a lot of people this year to make Detroit better, and you're seeing it, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, they won the Eastern League Championship, so that's going to happen. They're not going to keep people in Double-A if they're winning championships.
No. They split up between the big league roster and Toledo, essentially, so.
Yeah.
So the NCAA thing was my only hot topic. We talk about deaths, essentially.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson passed away, and his controversy, but we'll talk about the football side, one of the greatest football players that ever played.
Yeah, 100%. He was, only player that had a 2,000-yard season in 14-game season. The stats don't lie for OJ. During his career, he had a great run as a running back in the NFL. It's mired in controversy based on what happened after that. So you take the good with the bad at that point, kind of thing. And really, it was a lot of bad, and it was not a lot of good.
A lot of bad. We're trying to keep upbeat today. We're keeping it
upbeat. But, yeah.
So this finally came, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Everybody can't see it, but I'm holding it up for Jenks. So this is probably going to be as you guys are listening today, before I go to Ethan's play. Because Ethan's going to play this weekend, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Other family members are going tonight. I'm going tomorrow, so he has people there both days. But I was impressed but disappointed. I thought the autograph was actually going to be on the book.
Oh, is that just like a sticker?
Yeah, it's a piece of paper that she autographed, probably 10 million of them, and they stuck them in the book. Don't get me wrong. I don't care about the autograph. She's already hanging behind me on a cool picture. I do care about the autograph. I like it in the book. But she's already hanging behind me. I do want the book. The autograph I ordered early enough that I got into the loop of getting that, and it came with a authenticity card that somewhere in this room already.
Good job holding on to that.
Right. Oh, yeah. Listen, Ethan's just going to throw it away when I die anyway, so that's all it is. Right? I've asked him about baseball cards. Did I tell you this?
No, I don't think you did.
I'm like, hey, E, I said, have all these baseball cards, yada, yada, yada. I said, there's probably a little bit of money here. Bonds is rookie and McGuire's and, people around that neck of the woods. I said, what are you going to do with these when I pass? He's like, I don't care about them. Not a sports guy anymore. He's like, I'll probably just pitch them. Okay, well, that's enough. Duly noted. At the age of 47, I'm going to start. There's an app. Do you know there's an app that they're probably not all in mint condition, by the way, but whatever I can get out of them, boom, I'll shoot it on the app and I'm like, how much is this worth? Da-da-da-da-da. I'm never looking for the highest bidder. I don't play that game. If it's a $10 million card and you want to give me 5, cool. Because all those have been paid for and have been sitting around for 40 years.
Right.
Doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it to you for $1 because I know there is some worth that if you buy it from me, I don't have a $5 million card. For the love of fuck, don't be coming in the house looking for my cards.
But no Honus Wagner up in there.
Yeah, no. But because I know they're gonna resell it and have to make money too. I'm all about the Ponzi scheme or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I bought these packs for $1.89 or 99 cents when I was a kid. Clearly, whatever I get out of them, I'm going to get my return.
Right.
So,
I'm going to need the name of that app because I have a whole bin downstairs of cards that I keep starting to go through and all that. And I can never, I started trying to catalog it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's been something. It was something, and I kind of gave up because I'm like, oh my God, I can't get through this one little box because it's just, okay, this one. It's a lot of interesting cards up in there.
Well, you get stuck is what you do, right?
You do. Yeah, you get stuck because you get stuck in a loop and you're just like, oh my God, okay, so how do I get through this? How do I get through that? You know what I mean? And you just kind of get lost in it a little bit. I had one, there's a wrestling one with Roddy Piper and Hogan on it floating around here somewhere. I don't know where it went. So obviously I'm doing a great job with that one. But
yeah, you're just as bad as me.
I know. I have a bunch of other ones that are in an actual card book, wrestling ones. And there's one that I think creates the picture of, I want to say Bret Hart as a Hart Foundation member if you flip him around and piece it together. Don't check me on that, but I do think that's in the book somewhere as well. So it's pretty cool. I know I have a ton of cards in this house, maybe worth not a great amount. I'm not expecting anything, but they were my dad's cards. It's what I collected when I was younger. Yep. And now I'm just kind of sitting on them like, okay, I know I have these great cards. I know they're there. A lot of them are in great condition because I never really took them out. I look at them, put them back. Try to keep them as clean as possible for that.
Yeah.
And in that regard.
This came into my head right now. You know what? I should have probably started this process and I could have done a hell of a lot. Like last December, not this past December, last December when I almost died.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my surgery.
Yeah.
And I did nothing for a month. Probably could have got a lot done then.
Oh, it could have. Yeah. Well, you were focused on other things, staying alive, Yeah. But
fish posh.
But
so where I'll tell this quick story, then we can roll on. Where I got my cards, it used to be called Widman's. It was a convenience / drugstore, not over the counter drug. No, over the counter drugs, not prescription drugs, where you can get a pseudo Rite Aid without a pharmacy. I'll put it that way.
There you go.
Okay. My mom worked there, and it was the time Mom and Dad were getting a divorce, so my big thing was baseball cards. Well, Mom was the manager. Hey, I can get this, and this. I'm like, order them all. She got a discount. She got her, Widman's discount, essentially. There was never a card in that store. Because the box would come in. And again, back then, a box of cards was $20. So she would get it down to 15. I'm just throwing numbers out. Get it down to 15. Hey, good job. You got a good report card. I bought you 2 boxes of cards. Holy fucking shit. Well, then I got a paper route. Mom, can you order me Bowman's? Can you order me this? Can you order me that? And she would try to order more for the store.
Yeah.
But they send in 1 box instead of 2. Well, I get the box. The store doesn't.
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of cards. I'll just leave it at that. From late 80s till late 90s. And I know they call them essentially, there's a word for them. They call them the bubblegum cards or something where there was a mass production then. There really was. There's people that had baseball cards that probably shouldn't have had baseball cards.
Baseball cards, yeah. But they were buying them because of gum in the pack or whatever the hell it was.
The gum was freaking horrible.
Oh, I agree. It's in a pack of baseball cards. What did you expect? It was not going to be the greatest gum you've ever had.
Do you watch these people? Wait, so much. We're trucking down a path. And essentially we're
we always do.
Yeah, I know you guys want to know about WrestleMania and everything, but we have a surprise for you here in segment number 2, so we'll just hold on there. How do people not open their packs from 87? Because you see it on TikTok. Hey, we got these packs unopened.
Yeah.
How did you know not to open that pack? Not just a pack, a whole case, I mean.
I think at that point, people were just like, I'm betting the odds. And when I need them, find out. Or it was like, they didn't know what it was worth, and maybe they had gotten the pack, but grew out of it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe their parents bought them the box, and they're like, I'm not into this anymore. Why am I I'll keep it, but, like, why do I care right now? So then they see it, and they're like, I'll sell it for $50 or whatever it is and see what people get out of it. But to your point, then they're unboxing these fucking Bonds rookie cards and all of this shit, and it's sitting there like, are you shitting me right now?
In the piece of gum that's been
in the dilapidated hard piece of gum.
I'd say that with a couple of my other buddies too, like people that still have LJNs or any other wrestling figures still in box. Dude, you got those when you were a kid. Did your parents not let you play with your toys? Because I couldn't get mine out of the store before it was ripped open, and then I probably dropped it, and SD Jones or Hulk Hogan had a scuff on their face just because I was a mutant in dropping my toys right off the bat.
100%. LJNs I used to get. My grandfather owned an antique shop around Erie, so he would get wrestlers, LJNs, and all that. That shit was coming home. My dad's like, oh yeah, he'll like that. So my grandpa had a set at his house. I had a couple at mine. I'd scuff the shit out of them because of playing wrestling. That's what you're supposed to do. The dog would get a hold of it, bite the arm off. I remember Junkyard Dog was running around, Big John Studd running around with half an arm and that. But then it was like any wrestler that I got, that shit wasn't staying in a box. I was playing beating the shit out of it.
I'm holding the right now.
You're playing with it. I mean, my Owen Hart and Bret Hart mid-90s rubber Bend-'em, the arm breaker ones that clicked.
Yep.
That stuff those two got beat to shit because they weren't the best. They were the best ones. They could move. It was fantastic. So you had fun with them and you played with them. I would beat the shit out of that stuff all the time. I mean, I still remember the AWA Hawk one I had for a long period of time. That thing.
That goes for like trillions right now, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, well, shit. I played with it. I was like, destroyed it.
You have more memories playing with it than that money's worth.
100%. 100%. But some people were big into saving that stuff because maybe they had better foresight or maybe they were just like, hey, what it is.
What it is.
It is what it is. So, I don't know. I'd rather play with it and enjoy it than anything.
I can't save anything. To this day, I can't save anything. Like, as soon as something comes in, I'm like, whoa.
Let's play.
Let's rip it open.
Let's see what it's about.
If you save this for 1 year, it will triple its cost. Or I could play with it right now and have a hell of a good time.
Have better memories than anything that money could do with it.
Yeah. Got it out. Do you have anything you want to talk about, hot topics or banana nut sense that we're trekking with?
I got two things, but the first thing, second thing, I'm looking at something that I saw. It's a debut at a baseball park, and apparently the Orioles are rolling this out. I don't know if you saw this year, but it's something called a warehouse dog. Okay, ready for this?
Okay.
12-inch hot dog with horseradish infused brick sauce, whatever the fuck brick sauce is, pit beef queso fundido, pickled pico, and onions on a pretzel bun.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I want that.
The onions look like they're like the French's onions.
Oh, well, you know what I mean? Already then right there because I hate those.
Oh, see, I like those.
I thought they were sauteed.
I think they're just literally, they're just like the French fried onion.
They're Funyuns.
Kind of like Funyuns, yeah. They look like they're fried, to be honest.
If it's a true onion ring, like Burger King.
It's not an onion ring.
Not like Burger King's, but I mean, like if they would put like true like onion rings on it. But just the crumbles of like French's or the Funyuns, I hate their gross.
Yeah, it's just like an onion string type thing.
No.
Now, see, that's an interesting idea. Why has nobody put a hot dog through like 5 onion rings and then slathered it with sauce?
Right. The onion rings is the bun.
Yeah. And leave it at that.
You can either pull the onion rings off. Oh, Christ.
Somebody's going to steal this idea, by the way.
Nobody's going to just hold on to the wiener and just, like, mouth the onion rings off.
Yeah.
So are you biting into this, like getting an onion ring and dog at the same time, or are you going to slide off and then bite dog, slide off, bite dog? You're still holding on to the wiener at some point. Sounds fucking brutal.
Well, that's why you leave it in the protective packaging. But no, I'd try to take the whole thing at once. Take the whole thing at once. I mean, if you're going to get it, you get the onion ring, you get the hot dog all at once and just bite down and go for it.
What are you putting on? What condiment are you putting on? By the way, I have one about Pittsburgh I want to talk about because I do want to try that when I go to a Pirate game. But go.
Okay.
What are you putting on this?
I'd go stadium mustard. I wouldn't do a relish
on it somehow.
Would relish be good though? Well, I guess if you do onion relish, that's good.
Talking about
what?
But relish is always good.
I know. I just talked myself into it. Like, okay. I'd say
relish
stadium mustard.
For the love of God.
Yeah, I know. I love pickles. Stadium mustard, relish.
More onions?
Maybe more onions. I kind of want to throw a BBQ on there for the onion ring. I don't know how that would work, but I feel like that wouldn't be too bad.
The mustard and the BBQ. Well, no, I've put those together before. Yeah, I like yours. Did you see the one in Pittsburgh? And I don't know all of it, but it's a foot long. I think they put some like pieces of sausage in and then pierogies on top of it.
I did see that one, yeah.
Fucking getting that when I go to the game.
I just get that for the pierogies. I wouldn't even give a shit about anything else. Like, I love the hot dog, but give me the pierogi on top.
I'm all for that. All for that. If we're going to see this goddamn onion ring hot dog pop up somewhere soon.
I swear to God, it's going to happen.
Shit.
In the next year, we're trademarking. It's trademarked. But in the next year, if this pops up, this is going to be some straight up bullshit.
Maybe we can go into the kitchen and help the howlers out. Because if the howlers grab it, I think I'd be all right with it. They can call it the Can Crusher dog.
Can Crusher. Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
Have it on special with like a beer of the week or something.
Labatt's is stuck in my head for that. I don't know why Labatt's just popped in my head for it.
Mine was Yingling.
All right. I'm not saying the same, but to me on my same level. Yeah.
Yeah. You can rotate it too. Do like one beer. They pick the beer of the week, and then you just have the hot dog, the Can Crusher's dog, and a beer. $10.
We know a couple people. We should just take over. I can go back in the beer garden.
Yeah. You can go back in the beer garden and make the...
Smith doesn't like me, so maybe you'll have to talk to Smith. Because I've shit on Smith a lot.
Yeah, I can handle that. Smith lover here. So.
All right. You want to pay the bill?
One more thing.
Okay.
R.A.P. Aki Bono, who died this week.
I was going to bring up.
Aki Bono died, I think Wednesday night. Obviously.
Young.
Yeah, very young. 53, 54, I think, in age. For those in the WWE scene, WrestleMania 21, him and Big Show, which burned a bad memory, and I think a lot of people's brains with Big Show in a thong. But
bad.
He started leading first. I think he was the first Japanese-born professional or Grand Slam champion. I think in sumo, to be honest, if I saw that correctly, which was surprising to me because sumo and Japan are very much in line with each other, so that was a little bit shocking. But he did a lot of obviously legendary sumo wrestler. And I think he's starting to venture more and more into professional wrestling at one point in his career. So, very sad to see that transpire and him pass away.
One more thing that I remember because it's in my notes and it was not privy to my notes for a hot second. We got 2 questions sent in this week. We'll save them for segment 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did read one, but you're just going to have to fly by the night.
Always happens.
It always happens. All right, let's pay the bills because we want to bring something cool to the podcast here in a second in the next segment. Right? Yeah, sure. Maybe.
Good job. Very cool.
We'll be Rick rooting it, essentially.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone involved.
Rick rooting it.
Yeah.
So, Collar and Elbow has what he sees, all the cool things that Al Snow and hooligans have at Collar and Elbow. Make sure you go and buy it all up and then use our promo code.
Can Crushers, save yourself 10% off at collarandelbow.com. Then we also have a WWE affiliate code, which is in these show notes, actually our show notes tonight,
right.
Or today when you're listening to the recording. Click on the link. You may get a discount, you may not, but it helps the show out. So go ahead, go to the affiliate code, buy yourself Cody Rhodes' new merchandise now that he's the world champion. Whoa!
You just ruined all of the next segment.
Did I, though?
No.
It's only smoke and mirrors, people.
Don't forget, we have merch, too, over at CrowdMade. Go to CrowdMade, type in Can Crushers. You can see all the sweet merch that we have there. More to come. We'll just leave it at that. I don't know what they're doing, but more to come.
Yeah, more to come. It'll get there. It'll get there. It'll be good. You can listen to us on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of those great podcasting networks. You can also listen to us on Podurama, seamlessly transition between devices. Go to the website, look at the discounts that they have going on right now, and get yourself set up on an account so you can listen to us, sexy beasts, talking to the microphone.
It's just a sexy beast. Sexy beast. Hey, guys, don't forget, I live off of W right now. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing, 32 ounces of water, 2 scoops of W, and it's just unbelievable. It keeps me going throughout the day. No calories, no carbonation, no crash. A ton of different cool flavors out there. Jenks, I know we were on the realm of where I am because I'm down to maybe like 10 more scoops, which essentially is all next week.
Uh-oh.
So the order has been placed, and I went back to Beach and Peach. I am a peach fiend, and I can't not have peach in the morning. And it's delicious, guys. Use a promo code at W. It's Can Crushers as well. You'll be able to save 10% off of that. And there's a starter pack. If you want to give it a try and you hey, $20, that's cool. You get a shaker, you get a couple different flavors, and then you'll be able to see how W rocks your world. And it really, we've been doing W for I've been doing W for about 3 months, but I've been telling you guys about W for about 2. Mm-hmm. Jenks, not a carbonated energy drink in that whole time. Not even trying to sneak one because it really does work so good. And we're always transparent, right?
Yep.
That if it doesn't work for me, that leads this fucked up lifestyle, and you just want it from, waking up in the morning to go back to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening, it'll work. Because it works from 4 to 11. It really does. It keeps me going. It's awesome.
Try it now. Try it today. Go to W. See which one you like. Is it Beach and Peach?
There's a ton of different flavors, guys. I just get stuck.
But do you agree? Let's talk. But do you agree with Mark? That's going to be the key question. Maybe ask Can Crushers. You guys try W in the next couple months. Let us know what your favorites are when you submit your Ask Can Crushers questions cool. When it comes up.
Convince me to try something else besides peach because I'm the old man that, there's a restaurant. I know I'm going to get shrimp sauté or I'm going to get a quarter pounder with cheese or
I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peach is a hard sell. I will tell you guys this right now. If there's a dragon fruit or something out there and you want me to try it, you really have to sell it against peach for me.
Well, there you go. Maybe one of the Can Crushers is just a sales pitch for dragon fruit or something.
Right?
How well can Can Crushers Nation sell passion fruit to Mark to try?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see.
But with that being said, 814-299-6687. I almost screwed it up there. 814-299-6687. I realized it halfway through that number, but leave us a message, send us questions. You can drop them in through the call for 3 minutes in length, not 95 calls all at once, or send us an email, cancrushers69@gmail.com. What?
Join all our socials, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. The audio version of this is on YouTube as well. So like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff on all of those. Join the conversations. And let me tell you, the last spotlight, Jenks, if you have not heard it yet. We go back over to Montreal, and we talk to the firecracker, Leah Sparks, about wrestling career, acting career, being on Canada's Got Talent, which was judged by Trish Stratus before she got into professional wrestling. And Leah Sparks is also in the circus. She's in a square circle. By the way, it's mango juice and whipped vodka tonight, by the way, guys.
It's unsweetened tea over here right now, so.
All right. Enough time has passed. We got some work to do. Bring the surprise to you, and then we'll be back here on segment 2 to talk about essentially WrestleMania and maybe the night after, because what did you think about Raw, guys? What did you think?
Hey, guys, this is Robert Parker Williams. You're listening to the Can Crusher, and that's all you people need to know.
Welcome back, Can Crushers. You heard that we have a little bit of surprise for you here in the second segment. It's Mark, it's Mike, and it's our homeboy from the Final Count, Ryan Mosley. He's going to talk WrestleMania with us. Ryan, we're all pulling a Rick Rude today.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the Final Count, like you're a fan of Can Crushers or a listener or whatever, you are noticing something common on both a podcast. As I had both Mark and Jenks on the Final Count today as well. Yeah, very cool to be back on, and I'm happy to again be doing this quarterly with y'all.
Without a doubt, we're better. Both of us are better than Busted Open. They don't join anybody else's podcast, right?
Right.
No, they just want the goal. They just want the glory of their own podcast. They're all about themselves. We got this. We're family here. We're trying to help each other out. We're family. We're hanging out. We're talking wrestling. So let's do it.
All right, let's dive into WrestleMania. So first and foremost, Ryan, I think moving forward, you're going to have to get in a six-pack challenge with us then too, because Jenks is reigning defending champion, and after night 2, we have to acknowledge him, and he retains his six-pack once again.
Acknowledge. I'm going to start wearing my title again. I have to find that. Got to get out of the mothballs. Bring it back out.
We'll rate this on our six-pack rating at the end of breaking this down, but just an overview real quick of real quick thoughts. What did you guys really think of WrestleMania? Because there's talks that this is, the greatest. You hear that each and every year, but this may be the greatest. Thoughts?
I don't know. I'd say emotionally wise, as far as emotion wise, it was definitely the greatest. There was so much, and story wise, there were so many stories. No pun intended, but I guess pun intended. There were so many stories that were completing, were finishing, whatever, however you want to say it. There was so much that was concluded, but then there was also so many stories. Not only that started too. Both. I'd say, both ways, emotionally and then story wise. I'd say the best WrestleMania, by far.
So story wise, man, it ranks up there because we got our hearts ripped out of our chests last year at WrestleMania 39. This year we feel whole again, right? We are finally, the story's been completed. Things are kicking off new. There's a new era. It's a fresh, brand new thing. It just feels brand new and a new horizons is on the way that we can see, and it's just going to be amazing. Best, greatest of all time. Still having difficulty calling it that. WrestleMania 17 is still near and dear to my heart. I also love 30. I love a bunch of WrestleManias. This was one of the better ones, that's for sure. It's entered the top 5 conversation for me. And I think story-wise, what was paid off, what began in the new era that's kicking off, it's definitely top 2 from that perspective. But, man, the action, though, a lot of action may not necessarily translate to a good thing. But we'll get there with that.
We'll get there when we get there. I like both of your thoughts. I really do. Not the greatest for me. I loved it. Not the greatest for me. It will be hard pressed. And Jenks knows where I'm going to go. And Ryan, you know me enough too. It will be hard pressed for you to get WrestleMania 4 out of my heart. And I know that's one that people are like, oh, it's just a tournament. Tournaments do it for me. One day tournaments and Savage walking away with it and just the shenanigans there. I loved it. But for the stories, it's in the top 5. It's in the top 5 overall. I agree.
Well, let's take it off of that. Tournaments, that's why we always talk about how great King of the Ring was.
Yeah.
All-day tournaments in Survivor Series 98, despite what people think, it was actually a pretty good pay-per-view for the tournament-wise and all of that. So I could see that. Those single-day tournaments really do it, but WrestleMania 4 is truly special. I think a lot of people's hearts. Not my heart, but a lot of people's hearts.
Neither one of you were around for WrestleMania 4. Let's call a spade a spade.
I think I was. Wait, what was it, 87 or 88? 88, right?
We're mathing. That's not Mark's strong point.
It's 88, and I would have been technically 20 days old, 20, 30 days old at that point. So
you weren't around.
By technicality, I would have been around.
All right, let's dive into the events of WrestleMania. Ryan, jump in, hold on, and let's just talk over each other and let's go because I want this to be a massive discussion. Were you happy that Trips walked in first?
Yeah, I liked Triple H coming out. I think it set the tone for the 2 nights. Definitely pushing. I know we keep saying the new era, new direction. You could also say, and definitely solidifying that. Hey, this is the Triple H regime. This is Triple H's creative right here. So yeah, I loved that he kicked it off.
Yeah. What was telling to me, and I'm going to spoil a little bit of night one's intro with Stephanie, it was almost telling of 2 different things. The ending, the old regime night 1 with Triple H coming out, talking and all that, even though it's still his show. But night 2, Stephanie officially kicking it off and saying, we're entering a new era. We're entering, well, if you're Paul Heyman and her, the Paul Levesque era, that new era that's coming up. It was quite an interesting little tidbit for both of them, being one's representative of the old guard, but he's picking up the mantle to take the new guard into the future and kind of lead this army into what it will be. So, and it was really a tale of 2 nights. Because
I had a feeling Steph was going to be around as she popped up during the Hall of Fame. She has not been around or even been on camera for a while, so I thought maybe Steph walks out with Triple H one of the nights.
Yeah.
I actually love that she walked out on her own, essentially, in my mind, breaking it with her dad and the shit that's been down the path.
Yep. Agreed.
I agree too. You know, it was good to see a McMahon on the show, other than just Triple H being there. I know, and if you didn't see the pictures, people did notice that Linda was at the Hall of Fame. She was there WrestleMania weekend, and I was seeing a lot of people comment this on the pictures of her, that she looks like she's genuinely in a happy place in her life post Vince.
Yeah.
So definitely happy to see Stephanie as well.
All right, let's get into the action. First match, Becky against Rhea. Let me tell you, Becky's entrance with the quotes from the book and then her new look for maybe the next 2 months as we continue to beat this down. I loved Becky's entrance. Rhea sucked.
because I absolutely hated it.
You hate live performances. That's the only reason.
Well, wait, I don't want to ruin anything, but down the line, I'll talk about somebody that I liked.
Okay. But let me go off of that. Becky's, I understood the purpose, and I was fine with them reading excerpts before she came out. But her gear in that being adorned in quotes from the book was a little distracting for me because I'm like trying to read this, like, what is on
Are you trying to read her ass, Jenks?
No, it was around her midsection, first of all.
I know.
Second of all, I'm looking at it. Kimberly and I are talking about it. Like, what is going on here? Like, that threw me for a loop. I kind of preferred Rhea's to Becky's entrance, but I liked the quotes and all of that. I think for the Rhea's thing, it was more about this was her lifelong. This was her favorite band. It was her favorite song. It was
From
everything
Scranton.
about it. From Scranton, representing the
I wonder
Pennsylvania.
if they can be
connection.
new era pro wrestling. We can call them.
Never know. Maybe Mommy shows up too. But it's one of those things where it's like it was a culmination of a feel-good moment in the most hardcore brutality way, if you will. But
yeah, I liked Rhea's entrance especially. I don't even know the band. I like her entrance music. So I'm definitely the type that I like the live bands playing someone to the ring. Go back to was it 21 or might have been 20 or something like that. But Triple H being played to the ring by Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly which one it was, but yeah, Triple H being played to the ring by Motorhead. So yeah, I loved Rhea's entrance. And then Becky's was nice too. Don't get me wrong, it was nice too. So yeah, definitely. And
Nice.
it's WrestleMania. How can you not love
It
the
was nice. It's like a pat on the back. Oh, good job. You get a participation award.
But to that point, off of that, let's put it in this way. It's a great way to end a run, if you will.
A career.
Great final career, possibly, to kind of just walk away and have it be about the story about your life and quotes from that and how you were drawing inspiration or what you were thinking in that time. And it's a nice little not an exclamation point, but a period on a well-deserved career on that one. If this is in fact the last ride of what this match was.
And the match was, listen, Can Crusher fans and Final Count fans that are listening as well. This match will be talked about in December when we give our crushes away. I'm sure it's in there. It was Becky being sick. Let me stir the pot. Was she, or is that a story so she can walk away? We love stirring the pot.
I don't know, man. I wasn't sure of it, but I was buying it hook, line, and sinker 100% because I was like, I don't know if she's sick or not, but she's fighting for it. This is her flu game, her Jordan flu game.
And if she's sick, we're not being asses about it. We apologize, but I was just wondering.
The part, yeah.
But to point out, and that's a good assessment right there. But they did say it was only strep throat. I mean, so
right?
Unless there's something deeper to that, I don't know. It's a possibility though. So I mean,
yeah. Over the last week since WrestleMania, it's come out that she is going to take a hiatus, essentially, which we knew because the book is out, so clearly she's not going to be around for a little bit. Yeah. But she's been on several podcasts and says, hey, I got 2 months left on my contract, and there's not a lot going on. So we'll see.
Crazy walking. Think about that. You are like, I'm going to walk away, but you know what? I'm going to get a book deal out of this and didn't do a book tour to end my career versus, actually like wrestling through the end of it.
Right.
But she's earned that right and earned that privilege to do that with everything that she's done in wrestling for the women's division in the past 10 years, which is wild to me. It's been 10 years, 11 years since her her Bailey, Sasha, and some extension Charlotte have walked through the door and been there. That's crazy to me. That's been already a decade since that.
They're still babies to me, in my mind.
They're all still babies to me. I think Becky and Charlotte are probably the same age, if not older than me, but the other ones are like maybe 2 years younger. And I'm still like, y'all feel like you're like 21 or something like that.
They move better than us.
Three
of us.
I can't even walk. I walk and hurt my knees. Bunch of crap over here.
It's like, with Becky, I think, why I hate to see her leave, if this is it, I think she's, they've been bringing the kid on the road, taking the kid on the road with them. I can't imagine they want to do that for very long.
Yeah.
Taking the kid on the road. And so maybe they, I don't know, take turns, with, okay, you're going to, I don't know,
You're the babysitter for the next 6 months?
Take some time off. You take some time off,
We've talked a lot about Becky, though, and with this match, probably what it means to her. But let's talk about really the winner and Rhea and Jenks. We're going to ruin, maybe spoil a little bit. What you said when we recorded with Ryan, I didn't think about. So I want you to say it again, essentially, of how Rhea is running a gamut.
Rhea's collecting every single head of the 4 horsewomen at this point, and I think she has done that with every single one. She's gotten Bayley, she's gotten Charlotte, she's gotten Becky, and I'm very certain she's gotten Sasha too. This has been a meticulous disintegration, if you will, lack of better terms, or decimation. That's what I was looking for. Decimation of the 4 horsewomen. And it's basically bringing in that new guard. They were the women's evolution back in 2016, 2015. But now the new guard's in, and it's led by Rhea and
fucking Ripley.
Rhea fucking Ripley, Mommy, and then probably Bianca, and then Jade at some point when she's up and running. The new wave is here, and they've pretty much ushered out that old regime of the top 4 women in the division.
Yeah. Definitely. Great match, as we said. You guys want to talk about anything in the match, or we want to move on to one of my crazy matches?
They were going for it in this match. I mean, there's not much that can be said about the match besides what, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it.
It's on Peacock, for God's sake.
It's on Peacock. Come on, guys. We all had Peacock for the WrestleMania. So night 1, match 1, you can find it easily. Just go past Coco Jones and her national anthem, God Bless America performance. And then
Speaking of which, was it in my mind, did they say she's going to sing God Bless America? She started God Bless America and then sang the national anthem? Or did they say national anthem and she just sang the national anthem? I swore...
I thought they said God Bless America.
I thought God Bless America,
yeah. I thought I heard that too. And then I was like, what?
Because I didn't go back and watch that. Maybe I will after we get done recording, but I swore God Bless America.
I do like what they did on night 2, not to jump ahead, but I like what they did on night 2 as far as that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did like them. All right, 6-pack match, ladder match, yada, yada, yada. Kane was there in the form of Priest. Like, what the hell was he wearing? He looked like Purple Kane.
Yeah, what the fuck? Purple Kane. We've seen Blue Kane on the Indies, but now we got Purple Kane to deal with. Come on, guys. What was going on? Was that like supposed to be like demon mouth coming out of the bottom of it, or what?
I don't know.
I laughed. I will be honest. I laughed when I saw that mask because I'm like, it's fucking Purple Kane. What the hell?
This match, the winners of the match, quickly, Waller and Theory ripped down the SmackDown championships, and a little bit down the line, I think all 3 of us were rooting for our Awesome Truth to win it. We just didn't know how. Break down some of this match, though, because it was a little crazy. A-Town Down Under, real quick out of this match to take those championships. Any thoughts why?
I don't have any thoughts why, but I'm happy to see that they're your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But I think they're going to have a nice run with the belts. They're going to have definitely a nice run. I think maybe a feud with New Catch Republic. I don't know what other tag teams you have on SmackDown really. Pretty Deadly, but they're not going to.
They're not there yet.
Them,
yeah,
but
yeah, I think the draft has got to help SmackDown in that regard because they need desperate help on tag teams and in every aspect of it. But for me, the only reason I can come up with is Waller and Theory are the future. So they really didn't want them doing too many big spots. And Mark, I think you brought this up on when we recruited the final count.
The final count, yeah.
The final count was they it got crazy after they left. So I think the purpose was get them in, get them out with the tag titles. One of them take a crazy bump. Yeah, exactly. One of them take the crazy bump. We'll have one pop in as a cameo in the latter half of the match. It was really a tale of two matches with this ladder match.
It was. There was a hot tag in the match. There was so much. R-Truth got his flowers in this match.
Yep. Oh, 100%. He got the shine. But let me throw this back at you. What did we think of the DIY going full Regeneration X on this?
Yeah. Yes. I loved that. Oh, my goodness.
I was laughing. I mean, it did kind of get a Triple H. Yeah, it was very good. I think that was pretty sweet.
Speaking of DIY, this was one of the questions that I was. Do you think we're going to keep them as a tag? I think they're separated in the draft.
I think they're a tag team.
Yeah, I'd like to see them remain a tag team.
I just have the feeling, to Ryan's point earlier, SmackDown needs tag teams. So, and you can't take everyone off of Raw. You're going to have to split them out. So I think DIY is going to be relegated to the tag team ranks. Don't be surprised, though. They build them up. They give them the great story. They give them their flowers. And then they pull the whole Gargano-Ciampa rivalry again.
SummerSlam?
No. Maybe
why not?
Next year. I'm thinking 2025. We're going to get a healthy run with them as a tag team.
They get titles in Cleveland? Gargano?
Titles in Cleveland, yes. Titles in Cleveland. Gargano gets his flowers at Cleveland. They might be the ones to take it off of Waller and Theory in Cleveland. Let's put it in that regard. So I think they hang around for quite a bit of time.
Did you see, and this was at the tail end of the match, Jessica Carr was adamant at yelling at Priest because they went up on the wrong ladder.
Oh, yeah.
And Miz almost got the ladder up his ass when it buckled.
Yeah, because it was bending pretty bad. And she was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And he went up anyways. And it buckled. It buckled, and I was getting afraid because I was like, this is going to end horribly in the middle of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which, in hindsight, would have ruined Night 2. Just saying.
Yeah, we'll get there. I am so glad we had the Bray moment. They kind of talked a little bit about the Hall of Fame, and I thought, we're going to get the Hall of Fame people right here. We didn't. We just had a quick blurt, but that was awesome to see at WrestleMania. I knew we'd get it one of the nights, and we actually got it two of the nights, honestly. Yeah. But it was very emotional. Next up, we have Santos and Dom, and you're like, okay, against Ray and Andrade. If you watched SmackDown before, Dragon Lee got hurt, and Andrade had to step in for it. This was an all right match for me. I knew something was going to happen. I thought, as predicted, that Carlito was going to make the turn, but clearly that didn't happen. We're probably saving that at some point for Backlash or something. We get two NFL luchadors in there, Jenks and
they weren't even close to being luchadors.
They were Gene Doors. Is that what Graves called them?
Yes.
Eagle Doors. I think Eagle Doors is better. Rolls off the tongue a little bit better. I don't know.
This reminds me of two bands.
Eagle Doors.
Yeah.
Oh, Eagle and the Doors.
Yeah. Lucha Lucha Eagles.
Listen, shout out to Taylor Swift's future brother-in-law who can clear the ropes somehow, some way. I don't know. I'm jealous. And then Lane Johnson.
In shit kickers to boot.
And
untied shit kickers.
Jeans,
Yeah.
cut off, and a lucha mask. I would have fell flat on my face.
What did you guys think of the match?
I honestly thought it was going to be some type of return from someone until they took the mask off. I didn't put 2 and 2 together who they were at the point because I'm not a football fan really. I don't really follow football that much. Like, I can watch it, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
I'll tell you this, Ryan. I laughed hysterically because I knew who Jason Kelsey was. I had no clue who the other guy was.
I still don't.
Well, I knew it was a lineman an Eagles lineman once they said something. Kimberly was just looking at me like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Well, that's Jason."
Taylor's going to be a backlash, by the way, folks. Just to let you guys know that Taylor and Travis are cashing in something. Overall, the match was a match. It was for the big pop of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, it was a pander to the hometown crowd. But hey, you know what? I still don't. I go back to my predictions last week. I thought Dom would win this because it would be hey, I beat you last year, and then next year would be the rubber match for the 3. But maybe they're just going to give him the one victory next year and have it be done and over with.
Retirement mask match.
Yeah, retirement mask.
Yeah,
same. I thought the same.
Man, Little Wayne should not have been there. Annoyed. And it gets worse down the line.
A milli.
Next match was Uso and Uso, and on paper, this probably should have stolen the weekend for wrestling story. Maybe not storytelling, but it could have been in the storytelling as well, in just pure athleticism.
Yeah.
And this is probably the match that everybody is just saying, this was horrible. Putrid, as Greg Gagne would say.
Instead, it was wah, wah, wah.
I don't put much into star ratings, but Meltzer gave it a 0.75.
Did he really?
Night. Yeah. Not even 1. I'm trying to remember what match it did worse than. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it did worse than one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll have to find that out, see if I can look that up. But yeah, it got a bad rating. The spot in the main event of night 2 they had, better than this match was.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. This was just horrible, right, Ryan?
Yeah, it was terrible. We need to see something better than that. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like they were just taking turns. Okay, you kick me, I'll kick you. You do this. Now I'm going to do what you just did. I mean, no, it was not enough.
Do you think they're saving a payout? Do you think this is done? I'll put it this way. Do you think we get this match revisited at Backlash or something?
I hope they put more into it. And I hope they actually tell a story instead of super kicking, as you said on the Final Count. That the Young Bucks. This was really their match for real.
They were jealous, right?
Yeah, they were blushing at how well this match went over. But I think we get a street fight at Backlash. I just have that feeling like it's going to be a street fight between them two, and then I think that might be good. I'm still thinking
it should be good then,
because I think they can do a good match. I think they just had it in their heads. Listen, this is what we dreamed of since we were 5 years old. So let's book this like we're 2 kids just going out there. And it just didn't translate to what they wanted it to kind of be.
Yeah, I get it. Next matchup, Damage Control against Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. To me, this was just quick and easy. I could have cared less about the match. I said it on Final Count, too. You guys are like, oh, my God, you guys are saying both things, the same things on Final Count. Listen to them both. It doesn't matter because I'm not bringing it all both ways. I'm spinning some of it. I loved the press conference with these three of just being catty women worried about sunglasses, earrings, and everything. I thought that was cooler than the match because everybody knew what was going to happen in the match.
Yeah. Well, it was Jade Cargill show in the match. That's it. But like, this was the end of the 3-match slate for me. That was kind of like, I think because the Usos did me dirty in the previous match, I could not give this one the love.
Right.
Because I was like, I know what's going to happen. I know Damage Control's up a wall here. Jade's going to dominate when she gets tagged in. We got the classic whip. The hair whip came through.
We didn't get the nay-nay, though.
No nay-nays. No nay-nay.
I always bring it to a stop. You hit your mute button, sir. You're muted.
What a mutant I am, huh? Taking a damn man. Off. This has been a day. But anyways, I'm just done with it. Ryan, what do you got for this?
I have to say, the match didn't really do nothing for me. It was just another match. It did what it was supposed to do, as far as putting over Jade, getting her that first big win in WWE, and then also, gave a win for Bianca and Naomi as well. I do have to say I like their entrance that they had, the kind of Shawn Michaels-esque coming down from like the little, I don't know what that was, the little riser thing. That was kind of pretty cool because they talked about how they were the Storm, and so that was kind of nice feel because okay, I got it. You are coming down. You're the Storm, perfect storm.
Stir the pot. Does Jade go on an undefeated streak for a while just to throw some schneid at AEW? I mean, not the undefeated streak of like she's going to get Nikki Cross or she's going to get probably Chelsea. She's going to run through those people. I'm saying like when she gets Bianca for her first time or like, and I hate that I even put Chelsea in that because I love Chelsea Green, but the notable top fours. Does she run for a while undefeated?
At least
I don't know if 162-0 or anything like that.
Well, but I will say through SummerSlam at least. Would she end up 62-0 in AEW before Chris Bader? So I think through SummerSlam, and I think they'll count house shows for that because her first house show is in Erie, Pennsylvania in a week. So it's going to be interesting to see. I got to believe they're going to run her through. I think they eclipse it. They make her 63-0 just to say fuck you, basically. Because let's be honest, WWE is more subtle about saying it to AEW than AEW is to WWE.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
They really should, and just again stick it to AEW and that, but really show that hey, y'all dropped the ball with her over at AEW. Essentially, she's ours now, and we're gonna watch her rise even higher than y'all failed to make her rise or have her rise.
Yeah, that's 100%.
One of the most I cried after this next match, guys. I'll be blatantly honest with you. The IC match between Gunther and Sammy, even though I was on the fence last week, and then I still thought it was going to be Gunther to go 666 days. By the way, did they do that on purpose? If you're a believer in everything, that's kind of a fucked up number to level at.
I didn't until they said it after the streak, and I'm like, it was 666. Are you kidding me? The number of the beast you play in that game with Gunther, that was crazy to me. I
was like, seriously, wait. I didn't realize at the time that it was 666 days. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, I want to be the person that I have to be the person that imagines that they had him booked for night 2, and then somebody the week before was like, his reign's 666 on night 1, right? And then they were like, oh well, we got to make that happen now. Get that in the book. Somebody was like, that's going to be cool. See if Triple H, to your point earlier, Ryan, to your point earlier about Triple H and Motorhead, he would love that shit. He eats that shit up. for breakfast. So let's go. Let's go for the heavy metal kind of reference there.
Let's be honest. I'm sure the three of us instantly knew who was going to win this after the hug from the wife and the child, and then KO at Gorilla. But the story was still there. The brainbuster off the top rope.
Oh.
I wanted to see the mask. I was hoping that Trips was going to let him bring out El Generico, though.
That would have been great. Wouldn't that have been funny if he like rolled under the ring, put the mask on, rolled back out?
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if we can do, being honest on my part, I don't know if we can do due diligence talking, like breaking down the match, because it's in there. It's in match of the year because it was that. I thought Gunther was going to win. Then I'm cheering for Sammy to win. And I'm like, oh, shit. I thought the Brainbuster was going to be a tease and Gunther was going to get up and just pummel him. So I thought, man, they really just pulled the wool over my eyes with the family and KO and everything. Gunther's going to keep this. So I was started to celebrate. I thought, I at least have night one. We have to go to Dynasty for the championship. And then I was happy. I cried. Sammy is so emotionally involved in everything that he does.
Yeah. I think to that point, Mark, the taunting, it was too much from Gunther that I'm like, he's not going to win this. And like, I thought it was going to be like a Brock John Cena moment where Gunther was just going to stomp him into the ground and then Sammy was going to be like left done. Right. But man, I winced at that brainbuster because I was like, holy shit. I thought that went south quick. Just the way everything landed, went down.
There's like 750 pounds to hold him up like that.
No, unbelievable. And that is so much trust to put in somebody going through size alone, let alone anything. That is just so much trust to put in somebody that they land you correctly on a metal ring in that corner. Once he hit that, I'm like, oh, he's going to fucking do this. He's going to end this. That's when I had the hope of it's over. It's done. Sammy's winning this. But I was sweating bullets.
Right, guy.
The Chad Gable was like, no, you got this. I don't need to go out there with you. You got this. Before he even walked out, he was like, you're ready. I loved it. I loved everything about the match. Again, I definitely think this match is going to be definitely a contender for match of the year. When it's all said and done, the story that was told, like you said, Mark, I predicted that Sammy would win. But then I ended up getting doubt in my mind in the middle of the match when Gunther was just tearing him to shreds, basically. And then Sammy just, as he always does, finds that heart of the fighter deep inside of the underdog, and he just fights back and wins the match.
We all agree Gunther's on to more and amazing things here in the near future. I say maybe a month or two. Some people say less than that. I'm not sure. What are you saying, Ryan?
I'd say at least by SummerSlam. I'd say give it to him by SummerSlam. I don't know.
Jenks is saying
put
tomorrow.
him in Money in the Bank.
Jenks is saying Battle of Berlin's either for his title, either for him to get the title, or it's him defending his title in his home country or home area. So it just depends.
So let's spin it this way, because you, Brian, brought up somebody. I want, because we know it's going to happen, Chad and Sammy to go after this. Can we get a best of 7 like Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff? Because those two, we need this more than one pay-per-view or 2 pay-per-views. This needs to be between Chad and Sammy a saga, because I think everybody will be invested.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And even to tell this story, how his daughter was crying after that match between him and Gunther. Have his daughter there a part of the story in a way. Have Sammy's family a part of the story, and in a way with the match, or with these matches. Yeah, definitely best out of 7 series definitely would fit this feud. And I don't know if you necessarily call it a feud as far as this goes, but just a best of 7 series and let them just both just see who's the best technical wrestler.
That's all we could hope for, but I think this is going to be Bronson Reed coming through and getting this title right after Gable's win, or not Gable's win, but Gable's try next week. I think Bronson Reed winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I think he's just set up for the Intercontinental title run until Gable takes it off of him.
Said that 3 months ago, and now all of a sudden
I don't recall any of that conversation. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, late to the party. I know.
Then we get to the main event, which, listen, if you thought about watching WrestleMania, didn't think about watching WrestleMania, anything about WrestleMania, you knew the outcome of this match before WrestleMania started because of Bloodline rules and it wasn't a match. Again, it's this is another spectacle. This match and then the main event of WrestleMania, as we classify them definitely here on Can Crushers for sure, these are spectacles. These are not matches in our regards. I liked it though. I really did for what it was. And we knew, I just wanted to know how we were going to get there. I thought we'd have more people involved. I didn't know The Rock was going to use, I knew The Rock was going to use his power of some sort, but I didn't know he'd just tell the referee, if you count, if you do anything, you're fired. Okay.
I mean, yeah. And it's the way he did use that power. It's like, and then the commentary as going along with the match. It was just like, you felt that emotion even in just that tag match. And then the beatdown of Seth and with the injury that he has been dealing with his leg, they just kept with, targeting that leg and really just healing it up, out there. I loved that tag match, that spectacle, as you say. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. I knew the boss thing was going to come into play from the fantastic entrance, obviously, because I was loving the shit out of that. But I knew that was going to come into play at some point. Didn't think it was just going to be threatening the ref while we're in the middle of the match and just tell him, don't do it, you motherfucker. But, whatever it is. It was so interesting to see that the Rock was just the invincible character in this match. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
We've heard his contract rights, from Hollywood. He has to win every fight he's in, da-da-da-da-da, and all that. So it was interesting to see that kind of translate into the ring with the final boss type mentality. Seth getting worked over. Seth was MVP of WrestleMania, whether we want to talk about that or not. He carried WrestleMania through and through. You could talk about the stories carrying it and the stories being what was driving it. Seth was making sure that bus got to its endpoint and got to its destination by the end of the weekend. And it started here. It started with this match, taking what he could out of it. We knew the end result was what was going to come. But the ride to get there and watching Seth and Cody just get decimated to get to that final point, the cherry was on top. And The Rock pinning Cody really just further cemented there's more to come between those two. And we saw that Monday night with that awkward ass title thing going on there. But it further cemented these two are going to clash, and it's going to be one epic fight
at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, probably in Cleveland, which is going to be fantastic to watch in person.
What did you guys? So that's night one. What did you guys think about? And you guys both knew was bringing us up probably the sponsors of every match being on the jumbotrons and this and that. I think it took so much away. And wait, before you both answer. American Home Shield sponsors the main event. Was that a subtle hint for tomorrow night then? Night 2?
That's actually not a bad. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even notice that, to be honest.
Oh, that's a good hint. I see. The only beginning of the night, I had to tune out of what was going on sponsorship wise when they had Dude Wipes sponsor the Becky Rhea match. Because I'm like, why the fuck is Dude Wipes sponsoring this match? Who wasn't thinking at that point? So to me, I'm like, okay, if I pay attention to the sponsorship that's going on around ringside, I'm not going to fucking watch anything that's going on here.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. But American Home Shield is actually good. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that being.
There had to have been. Somebody had to. Oh, because you just get a million sponsors in. All right, we're going to put this one here, this one here. Somebody's like, oh my God, American Home Shield says they want to sponsor a match. Well, let's make this the main event for reference for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, the new era, Triple H would get that cute. Yeah, Triple H would get that cute with it.
Yeah.
God damn it. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Night 2, as we pick up, Steph kicks off. We talked about that. And we get to the first match. It's the WWE Heavyweight Championship, Seth against Drew. Punk on commentary. Drew comes out to the bagpipes. And I've said this for years. When I go, I don't know what song I want it to be, but I want the bagpipes playing that song. But wait. And I know everybody's like, oh, Mark, you hate stuff like that. Bagpipes are different. Okay, bagpipes are completely different. Roddy Piper, it's just a subtle sound. I didn't know that I was going to join the Mumfors next week because I want to be a Philadelphia Mumfer because by far the best entrance at WrestleMania in forever was Seth Rollins and the Mumfors coming out. And I hate Seth Rollins' song. People are like, Mark, you hate that song. I do. I absolutely hate it. Good. Go away for a while. Change your song. Do whatever. I need to get this on my Spotify to play the Mumford's entrance. And they didn't want to leave. That even was even better.
Wild outfits. Seth Rollins burned it down. And whatever the godly atrocity that Seth was rolling out in
that was
whole thing. But I loved every second of it like you did. I thought that was it was hilarious. It was cool, hometown pandering type thing, marching around the ring, trying to take up as much time as possible with it. And then you had
Punk didn't want to high five.
Punk wasn't high five, and he was injured, as we found out. Should be in air quotes, maybe. But it was fun. That was
as you said on the final count, Jenks. It was the Mumfords, how they were walking around and whatnot. It put the Congo line of No Way Jose, and then also of the party bus with his name slips my mind right now.
Adam Rose.
Yeah, Adam Rose. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
but it put his line and all that to shame. It really did. And again, I liked the how the commentators were. Oh, I like that guy. I like that one and that one, and I love the outfits. I don't know if you call them costumes, whatever. Loved all that.
Did anybody do any research? What do the Mumfors do? Can we reach out to a Mumfer and have them as a spotlight or something? Because I want to know how they got connected, what they do. See, Jenks is my doing due diligence right now. Like they have to do like great work for like children or something. I never wanted to move to Philadelphia in my life, because I don't like the Eagles, I don't like the Phillies, I hate the Flyers, all of that. I just want to be a Mumfer. Can I be a Mumfer up here? Can we start a Northwestern Mumford division in Pennsylvania?
So
and include Louisville too, I guess.
Hey, I'll be a Mumford.
Yeah, technically they're called Mummers.
Oh.
The Mumford and Son for the past 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was.
Well, I rooted on both shows then. The Mummers, yeah.
They hold a New Year's Day parade every year since 1901.
That's it.
That's basically it. It has roots dating back to the 17th century, though. Like the elements were found in Swedish, Finnish, Irish, all across heritage.
Wait,
is
Italian or Spanish in it? I need to get into this.
German's in it.
Oh, I have that.
Okay, there's other European heritages as well as African heritage, but it's basically just a way to celebrate the new year. It looks like, and just kind of walk through. What is this?
So they only come out once a year, except this year they come out twice.
Yeah, and they're this is a traditional rhyme from the 17th century, but here you go. You ready for this? Here we stand before your door as we stood the year before. Give us whiskey, give us gin. This sounds right up Can Crusher Alley. Hold on. Back to the thing. So give us whiskey, give us gin. Open the door and let us in, or give us something nice and hot, like a steaming hot bowl of peppered pot. And apparently they go around and do this thing. Yeah. There is some extravagant costumes up on here. And
I'm going to be a mummer in the worst right now.
Their definition of mummer.
This is fantastic. I'm assuming Seth in the mummer costume is going to be in our image this week for the Can Crushers. So
this is the mummer. I don't even know what Mark I haven't put anything together yet, but
yeah, you don't. Mark doesn't, but I'm just dropping a heavy hint. Maybe we should put the mummers in there too.
I second
to honor the mummers and Mumford and Son. If you want to put them in there too.
You know what you should do, Mark? You should Photoshop your face onto a mummer costume.
More work to do on the podcast, but yeah, I probably have to. I want to be a mummer. The match, though, the match itself.
Oh, there was a match? Oh, yeah.
The match itself, I'm not going to lie. I kind of dabbled yesterday when we recorded with Ryan for his, but man, I wish it was more of a 2.7 second match. I really wanted it to be solidified with Seth just getting his ass kicked. And then the same thing could have happened, but you guys fought me a little bit.
Yeah, I love the charge on that fight. But to that point, I would have loved to see the 3-second quick turnaround. It would have made sense. In that scenario, it would have made sense. The flip side of that is I just wouldn't have found it believable that Drew would be that susceptible to Punk hitting him with, or he would fall that easily afterwards.
It's a titanium brace.
The titanium brace. It's like yelling about Bob Orton's cast. Okay, it was all a thing. It was a play so he could win the match, but for Punk's sake, he was just playing Drew, and it seems like he's been playing Drew these past couple of days. I just don't know if it would have been believable to me. I like that Drew had to go through the motions, go through a whole match, despite giving Seth his best shot. I think it really helped sell the moment for what was to come afterwards. Plus, we wouldn't have got the tweet from Drew during the match.
True.
I like the fact that it was more. It was an actual match and not just something that was over quick as well. But in the same, it was a brace. It was a solid steel brace. And then let's not excuse the fact that something else was hit across the skull or face or whatever you want to say of Drew McIntyre to cause what happened, what we're referring to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, there was a catch in too. I'm now pulling up a mummer. Jenks can take over for a minute. Really I'm now looking for a mummer picture because you guys have now put that in my head.
See, this is why it breaks down to a shit show, Ryan. Every time we try to one of us is doing something goddamn stupid for the show, but as Johnny Mumford and Son over here is going to get his picture going.
And I can't see, by the way, either.
I know. I'm seeing this unfold. I don't know how I'm supposed to talk through this. But anyways, Ryan, to your point, the briefcase, Senor Money in the Bank coming down, cracking, taking a full advantage of the opportunity, much to the happiness of CM Punk, because he was loving that. Cracking the briefcase over Drew's head and cashing in and winning Money in the Bank. We've said it for weeks on this podcast. I know overall, I think everybody's been saying it. When was Drew going to cash in? It was the dumbest person not cashing in on so many moments. This was the perfect, biggest spotlight moment that he could have cashed in on.
I agree. And on top of that, I think this even tops Seth's cash in at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 31. Yeah.
Whoa.
This was very Edge-esque of a cash in as well.
Okay. All right. I can't get over
the heist of the century for me is
that's number one. That's still number one, and that's why 31 is up in my top 5 because that plus every other match that night. But I will give you this: Damien's cash in, definitely top 5, maybe 3. I will give you that
top 3.
Yeah, because I think I would agree because it was a very great cash in for him in that regard. Everything that led up to it in that played well.
And now you can use that WWEshop.com affiliate code that we have to buy Damian Priest shirt because I love him now. This made that change right then and there. I'm like, oh, Damian Priest. For 8 months, I'm like, Damian Priest with this freaking case sucks. Jenks, what did I text you 30 seconds afterwards?
Oh, you were like, I'm Damian Priest fan. I love this. You were all about it at that point, 30 seconds afterwards. Did either of you guys see I'm thinking the WrestleMania documentary actually got released at some point today because I saw the clip of Damian Priest and his cash in that whole moment. The congratulations afterwards. And there's a lot of good ones, people coming up saying, good job. Undertaker said something. The funniest one to me was Punk. He goes, now you don't have to carry that damn briefcase around anymore, which I thought was hilarious because it's accurate.
Yeah.
That thing is so bulky in that and carrying it for a long period of time. But that was a great little snippet. I haven't watched the whole thing. If it has been released, like I said, I don't know if it has because it didn't get released Wednesday when they said it was. For some reason, it was delayed. I didn't know what was going on with that, but something to keep an eye out for.
That it was released today because I saw clips even on TikTok of it today. Yep. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, fast forwarding to the next match, which we should have fast forwarded the match completely. It was a Philly street fight, the Pride against Final Testament. I have not been engulfed into this whole situation. It's in Philadelphia, so we get a special referee, and I was fine with it because the Dudleys are ECW. They made Philadelphia, yada, yada, yada. That was fun. Once Snoop is announced that he's on commentary, this was nothing but a bathroom break. See you later match for Mark. My high spot of this whole match, and I mean it good. I loved B-Fab and Scarlett going through the table. They sold that more than anything else in this match because this match was hot shit.
Yeah, it was a throwaway for me. It was one of those just like the Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Escobar and then Dominic. Just like that was a throwaway, this was a throwaway for me. Although I did like, and I said in a post on Facebook, I did like having and hearing Snoop Dogg on commentary.
I wanted to punch you through Twitter, by the way, or Facebook or wherever one it was. I just wanted to punch you through that.
In a Mummer's costume or Mumford's costume, one of the two.
But I did like the nod to ECW with Bubba Ray Dudley being special referee.
No, that's fair. I think for me, I knew Snoop and Bubba were added to get people engaged or watch the match from that perspective. Yeah. Well, yeah, they have that in big bold letters on their whiteboards. Piss off Mark the Mark. But really, Snoop was for that television audience to keep like, oh, what's Snoop gonna say? Like, what's Snoop gonna do? Versus Bubba was for the crowd in general with that. But I wasn't a big fan of the match. I'm not gonna belabor the point. Like you guys have talked about it through and through, so I'm not gonna belabor that point. Craziest stat to me to come out of this that I found out is this was Paul Ellering's first WrestleMania.
It's a lie.
It has to be because that can't be true. He had to have been there with the Road Warriors, correct?
He was. Yeah.
That's what I thought. When that was said, I was like, that is no way happening.
Yeah. I don't know which one it was, but I remember him standing up because they did interviews at WrestleMania on the stage sometimes before they went out, and Ellering was there. Again, I can't remember my son's birthday or any major dates in my life, but if it's wrestling or baseball related, I will conjure a picture. Paul Ellering was at a WrestleMania before.
Is this like a Berenstein Bears thing where it's like with Mandela effect? We think it happened, but it didn't happen.
Well, remember that the WWE also wants you to remember that the Jumping Bomb Angels weren't the first WWE Tag Team Champions. It was Bayley and Sasha.
Fair. That is fair.
All right, you do your due diligence. We're going to move on.
I'm looking.
I know. LA Knight against AJ Styles. This was a good match. It did what it needed to do. It was, for me, a main event for Raw or SmackDown that the Bloodline or any other big storyline wasn't going on. It got LA his win. And I think we all kind of knew that going into this.
Definitely. It did what it needed to do. Got LA Knight the big win. Got him his first WrestleMania win. And I think it does kind of solidify him as a star, puts that stamp of approval on him. So, yeah.
Yeah, for LA Knight, this was the biggest win for him because it was on WrestleMania. It had to be the right opponent for it to kind of work in that regard. I think we threw around Orton, we threw around this guy, that guy, Logan Paul. It was going to be a shining, take the U.S. title off of him. But at the end of the night, it really, pun intended, I guess, but at the end of the day, LA Knight, this match didn't cook as much as it should have. But I think it speaks to, okay, we had to just pass that torch over.
Get him on the card.
Get him on the card, get him there, and AJ was the best way to do that.
Next match, we have the U.S. title match, Logan, KO, and Randy, and they kind of pulled the same thing as Sammy was there to give KO some, hey, let's go do this. But 3 days before WrestleMania, and it's in Cleveland, which is Logan Paul's hometown as well, you release the SummerSlam poster with Logan Paul front and center. It kind of, we predicted anyway last week, both of us did, that Logan was going to keep it. But there was no doubt then that Logan was going to keep it then.
Yeah. Writing was on the wall for that one big time because promoting Cleveland SummerSlam, he wasn't going to be chasing the title. He has to be the U.S. champion going into it. So it just left the writing on the wall. It is definitely Logan Paul centric, and he's going to be the main focus of the show. Watch he ends up being like Cody Rhodes' opponent because Rock can't do it or something like that for WrestleMania, for SummerSlam.
Wow. I agree. That this was all for, or SummerSlam is going to be all for Logan. But I was predicting that Kevin would win. I just thought Kevin Owens was going to win the title. Unfortunately, he didn't. But I'm. How many times have we been impressed with Logan Paul?
Oh, he's unbelievable.
He's very unbelievable. And then I love how they keep using the prime bottle at ringside and putting someone different, because I thought it was going to be KSI again, and it was not. It was Speed.
I show Speed. How come we weren't involved?
I got to back up because I kept saying ISO Pro or ISO Pro. I was like, I know
your steroids.
I know, because that's the only thing that kept popping through my head. I'm like, who's this Speed Pro? IC Pro? ISO Pro? I could not, for the life of me, pick up ISO Speed or whatever the hell they were saying.
I had never heard of him.
Neither have I. Apparently, he's a WrestleMania guy or a YouTuber.
It was on WrestleMania.
It was on WrestleMania. I can't. My mind's blown. I don't know. Maybe it's the golf cart driving, trying to kill Randy before the match. It was a bold.
He was going like Mach 10 down there.
I think he thought he could ramp it. I think he was thinking he could ramp that into the ring. Which
listen,
that would have been pretty
I know
exciting.
this. The golf carts don't have great breaks. I've ran over a friend before in a golf cart.
I've witnessed my sister flip a golf cart before in a barrel roll formation. Somehow my cousin get out of it.
I'm not an engineer, but that incline is pretty drastic at the top, and then it kind of simmers down. But when you have that much speed, and I'm not knocking them, but they're two big men in a golf cart rolling down a hill. I thought they were going to crash right into the ring. I really did. Randy was going to be like up over the handlebars on a bike.
It was going to look like Braun Breaker was running around in the ring. Just move it ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think that Randy is probably grateful that it was not WrestleMania 33 set.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The roller coaster. Oh, good Lord. Might as well have been at that point. Real quick, touch back on Ellering. He's the one that actually said he wasn't at a WrestleMania until this year.
What?
He said on Busted Open, this was the quote from him. It was incredible walking down the aisle of WrestleMania 40 because everybody thought I had been in a WrestleMania. I had never been in one. I'd been at 2. No, I was at the Hall of Fame when I was inducted in Orlando because I was at NXT at the time. But I've never been in a WrestleMania. So last night I can cross it off my to-do list.
What?
So a lot of people are going back. He kind of forgettable promo. This guy says at WrestleMania 8, didn't he? So I'm wondering if he did a pre-taped promo at WrestleMania, and that's what was shown.
Maybe. All right. Overall, the match was good to get back into Logan, KO, and Randy. The match was good, and I did like it. I did like it.
It was a fun match.
We move on to the women's title, Bayley and Io, which, listen, Jenks should be on the lead on this one. This was an epic match. It really was. I loved everything about it. I loved that Bayley, namesake of Jenks' dog, yada, yada, yada. She gets her roses. But the story within the match, this could have, Damage Control and Bayley could not have happened. But this match still could have been just thrown in on like a Backlash or a this or that. And the story was still there, that it's in contendership too, right?
It's got a lot of contendership to it with these two. And I think it shows how good Io Sky truly is. Because I think a lot of people have put her at like, oh, this title reign's nothing without Damage Control, Io is way better than I think a lot of people give her credit for. And this match kind of highlighted it and worked to highlight her showcase of it. Bayley, near and dear to the heart of the Jenks household over here and to the Moochie household. So we'll give him a shout out here. He shouldn't get it, but he's going to get one anyways. But it's really, Bayley knows how to bring the best out of people. And this really highlighted Io in a better light to make her seem like a tough fighting champion that I think it's going to help elevate her to get future title reigns, even in the climate of a Jade, a Bianca, Naomi breathing down her neck, basically.
Yeah, and I love something that I love that, some people I saw speculating that, maybe we're going to get the Hugger Bayley back. Maybe we're going to get the wacky inflatable. What was that?
I would only wish.
Right. I'd like to see it back too, but I like the more serious Bayley, just the way she is, and just the more seriousness side of her. And I'm interested to see her more serious side of her as a babyface champion.
She's outgrown the Hugger, and I mean this nicely, but she's also pseudo passed it on to Izzy Marino as well, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Hugger Wrestler 2, like Matt. Mr. Wrestling 1, Mr. Wrestling 2. Yeah.
Snoop comes back out with the cheerleaders, yada, yada, yada. And I bring this up because little things piss me off. He announces that there was 145,420 people there. But the graphic The WWE just slides across the screen as he's announcing 420. It says 298. Once again, this is what I text Jenks. Once again, wrestling kind of drops the ball on saying some stuff is fabricated, including our attendance.
It's like minor league baseball teams just inflating that attendance just ever so slightly by half their stadium worth to get those numbers up.
Never been part of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, neither have I. But Triple H said in his press conference at the best, no matter what Stoop says, it was 145, 298, or whatever it ended up being on the graphic. I think Stoop just wanted an excuse to put 420 in there.
Exactly.
Or did someone not tell him what the actual attendance number was?
Or he forgot on the way down.
Oh, could have been. You could have done both of those things. Somebody was like, I think it was around 145,000, something like that. And he was like, let's put it.
I blame it on Snoop, not the WWE. I blame it on Snoop.
Right.
And then we get to, it's going to be hard pressed, so I'm going to say it right now. The Spectacle of the Year match. This was everything we wanted. It was unbelievable. I said Roman. My bold prediction is that Roman would keep it and break the Hogan record that's out there. I would have been fine if he didn't. I still think there would have been more meat on this to carry it for a little bit longer, have it be WrestleMania next year or even SummerSlam this year. I think there was still time, but I think news has dropped because when I think of WrestleMania 40 from here on out, I won't think Cody Rhodes. Yes, he finished his story, and it's about damn time. But I will also first think of the picture that WWE did not put out. Somebody on TikTok, wherever I saw it, was Heyman and Roman hugging in between the XL. Is Roman's gone for a while? Maybe as it's being leaked a little bit here and there, not confirmed by anybody, that his leukemia is back and he's got to take care of that.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. It seems like that could be rearing its ugly head again in his life. Is that he openly admitted in the press conference he has to take oral chemotherapy for the rest of his life just because of that. So I don't think it's ever going away.
Right. But
but to that point, my point was with that is it can't go away, can't go into remission. They've reached a point where they are saying to him, this is the end. This is not the end for him, obviously, but this has progressed to something that can't quite go away or go backwards. So we need you to take this and continue to take this to kind of fight it off as you go forward. It's sad to think about because I thought about it this week. Roman is going to be may end up being one of the following the lineage of his family where he passes on early. And it's very sad to say that. We're going to be talking about his legacy sooner rather than later, which is kind of hard to put into perspective. Right now, we acknowledge him. And we acknowledge his reign. We acknowledge everything about him, everything he's done. He is Mr. WrestleMania. He's been Mr. WWE since SummerSlam 2020, and probably before that, even more before that. We now have to accept and be willing to take this in and say, time is short, but Roman is going to progress, is near and dear in our hearts. He has reached the level where he's the legendary status at this point.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. And I'm glad that whoever caught that hug and that embrace between the two of them did catch that because, it's good. It was good to be able to see that because it makes fans appreciate Roman more than they already did. It gives him that respect more than they already did. And I saw another angle, not of the hug, but of Roman just walking up the ramp after the match. and he looked legit like he was like he looked like he kind of hated, like he was sad. I saw the smile at the end of the match, but he looked like he was definitely sad. And so yeah, it's if with the leukemia being back, I hate to see that. You hate to see that anyways, but with it coming back, you hate to see that. Definitely. Yeah, definitely legend status. Agreed.
Yeah. So the match, we get The Rock, we get the Uso brothers, we get Cena, we get Undertaker, we get Solo. It was just a spectacle of essentially Roman's last 3 years. This was a great, and I know we're talking about Roman. Listen, we have months to talk about Cody. I'm not saying anything about the story or anything like that, because this was Cody's ushering into this new era, the Paul Triple H Levesque, storyline that we're going with. But this is Roman's last match for a hell of a long time. So that's why I want to keep on him and keep giving his flowers. Cody, we love you. We do. And this is awesome. The story was great, from even when I hated the Shinsuke moments, because it made no sense of the story. There's just a couple chapters you're like, whoa, this doesn't even need to be in the book. I get it now. I get it. I cried. I was happy for Cody. Listen, he's tattooed on my body. But this was more about Roman for me. And I've acknowledged him for a hell of a lot longer than a lot of people. But now everybody understands that, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge Roman, acknowledge what he has brought to the table. But this whole match, man, you knew it was building up to every single Avengers style running going on here, because this was Thanos versus Captain America. This, from it all across the board. The one thing I keep thinking about is when I look back at the Rock spot where it was Rock and Undertaker. Obviously the news has trickled out. It was supposed to be Austin, but Austin needed that payday. I get it. You got to drink beer. Do your thing on that ranch. He was leaving the ranch in his cat.
Right.
Okay. Austin was doing his thing. It kept hopping back into me. I kind of really like that it was Undertaker, and here's why. Undertaker is the WWE final boss.
Yep.
Rock may be the Bloodline final boss, but the Undertaker is WWE's final boss. So how apropos that the gong went off and he was the one to choke slam or down the Rock in this with ease. Absolute ease. I think that was way more perfect than the glass shattering. The glass shattering would have been fantastic, and we probably wouldn't even thought about the Undertaker being a part of this. We would have loved it. But the Undertaker doing it, I think, was way better storytelling, because they had ties to Roman. He's the WWE's final boss. He's everything that the WWE has been about for the previous eras. It really made more sense to have the Undertaker take this reign and run with it at that point.
Ryan, what's your thoughts?
I loved, yeah, I agree with everything you said, Jenks. I agree, or I liked and loved the finish with, or the spot where, the Shield music hits. And in my mind, I'm wondering, like, okay, did WWE and AEW get Ambrose here? Did they get Moxley and he's going to show up as Ambrose?
Everybody has forgotten about Seth by now.
Do it.
Yeah.
I said, Ryan, everybody forgot about Seth by now.
Yeah. He had his match, and I thought at least that he was done for the night. And so the Shield music hits, you get that pop for the music hit, and just the music hitting, you get that pop right there. And everybody's like, where's he coming from? Where's he coming from? And then he comes out with the chair, and Roman hits the Superman punch on him. And then there's a point before the ending of the match where you get Seth on one side of the ring. He's getting up by the ropes. He's got Cody on the other. Roman with the chair, deciding, who do I go for? Who do I hit with this chair? And flashback, to 2014.
Yep.
And we get the chair all over again. We get only this time it is Roman getting revenge on Seth and putting the knife in the back of Seth.
But there's not long-term storytelling, right? Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is definitely long-term storytelling. And that was great to see that long-term storytelling tell out right there in front of us.
Yeah, this is why they hired the Marvel guy. He brought his Avengers Endgame and he brought the long-term storytelling back, because it was the beginning and the end of that era. Yep. In that moment.
All right, so Cody wins. Unbelievable. A little bit long at the end. Like, he has a whole family in, which I do like that. That's a callback of his dad winning the championship or anything. But then go off the air within like 3 minutes or so. There was 15 more minutes of like watching Cody buy popcorn and watching Cody do this. I'm like, okay, somebody's coming then.
Right.
See you later. Have a good night, everybody.
I was waiting for that damn music. I wanted MJF to stroll right out there in the middle of that crowd. But he wouldn't go to the lowlifes of Philadelphia.
No. He hates Philadelphia. He's from New York.
He's from New York. He's got to wait till it's in New York.
All right, let's rate this on a 6-pack, Ryan. We're gonna hold you to it, so you have to rate it on a 6-pack. We'll start with you. How do you rate this WrestleMania?
So, like a 1 out of 6. Is that what you're saying?
You can go. You can do quarters and halves as well. So if you want to give it like a 6-pack of beer is the best that you can give it. Okay, so 4.5 beers, 5 beers, 6, a whole 6-pack. What do you give it?
I give it about 5.5 beers. I'll do that.
Jenksies?
I'm going to say this now. Night 2 was way better than night 1. I just wanted to throw that out there. Because I know Mark's part on this, but I got to go. I'm going to go with Ryan, 5.5 beers, 5.5 beers. The story really brought it to the front, really brought it up.
We're all on with 5.5 beers. We really are. Yeah. I can't give it to my 6-pack of WrestleMania 4, but yeah. And I don't know.
That was a case.
What? That was,
that was a case for
keg.
You, let's be honest. That's a keg. Doing keg stands on WrestleMania 4.
Anyway. In Altoona, watching it on a big screen, by the way, at Jaffa Mosque, because it wasn't even pay-per-view, it was closed circuit then, by the way. You wouldn't know. You were only 20 days old.
Living my best life at that point.
Right. There was some downs, though. There were some downs, but as we said when we started this synopsis, essentially, the stories really delivered in the whole WrestleMania. Not just Cody's, Bayley's did, and Jade getting her showcase, and there's millions of stories in this that were awesome. Even the story, as Ryan just brought up, of the bloodline and of Shield and all of that, that carried a lot. The action part, I don't know. I think some of the action was lackluster.
Yeah.
But it was the stories that did it for me.
Yeah. Each show had the middle kind of slumped down a little bit. Night 2 only had 2 matches for me that did that and then picked back up. But night 1, the 3 matches in the middle from Rey and Andrade through, I think it was a 6-women match. It was just kind of, got to get out of that little slump that they got going on there.
Snoop just killed night 2 for me. I'm not, he just absolutely killed night 2 for me until we got to the main event. Well, until we got to Io and Bayley. Sorry.
What's Snoop do next year? So last year he injured Shane McMahon basically.
Nothing.
And then punched out Miz.
Nothing.
And then this year he was calling the match and he announced the wrong number, middle of Philly. 41. He's got to be doing something, right?
He didn't need a title match. Probably.
He's already got his title. He's already got his gold title belt.
So let's let's jump ahead to Raw real quick, and then we'll end this segment because there's really only one thing on Raw I want to talk about. What was given to Cody Rhodes? And I want you guys all to have a guess. What was given to Cody Rhodes in that way too damn long promo to start the show?
With TVs from your high school.
Right?
VCR camera TVs.
Oh my God, the substitute's here. We're getting a roll in VCR.
Yeah, we're getting a roll in TV. Where's the AV club for this? I think it was a Hall of Fame ring. Somehow, some way, Rock got his dad's Hall of Fame ring. We talked about this on Final Count too. To me, I can't picture anything else that would fit there. So I don't know. You guys try to prove me wrong, but I just feel like somehow Rock got the ring and it needed to happen or something along those lines. I don't know.
Jokingly, yesterday I said on the Final Count, which you guys are listening to today anyway, so your days are all the hell messed up. So just don't even pay attention to that. I said it was like a mustache because Dashing Cody Rhodes is going to come back.
I too said it was going to be a Dusty's Hall of Fame ring as well, on both the Final Count and now here on Can Crushers. And I'm sticking with that.
It makes more sense in a mustache. I agree.
It does, but I also saw today actually on TikTok. Someone had posted a video that they thought it was going to be the Hall of Fame ring, the watch that was alluded to on the press conference, the post-show conference. But then the third option that they had was maybe a lighter, and the reason they gave for the lighter was for the bus fire that happened last week. Maybe they was going to play that into it somehow.
That's a good one because it did come right after the comment about don't ever break my heart again. And if it's the lighter, that means Rock set fire to the bus to send a message. And that's Cody's technical home when he's on the road. So that's an interesting one. I like that a lot.
I like that more than maybe the ring, because
I 100% like it more than the ring.
Because how the hell is he getting Dusty's ring? Like it was Dusty, and I don't know this. Was Dusty not buried with the ring, or whatever?
Did he give it away? Was there something that? Yeah, I don't think he gave it away, but
how do you get it? Why wouldn't he give it to Dustin then?
Well, I don't know.
What they said for the ring on this TikTok, and it made this I can see this too. That maybe it was given to Cody. The ring was given to Cody like down the road, and maybe he pawned that ring off at some point. When
we should have went to Pawn Stars. I just broke my pen, by the way. This is my favorite pen. I don't know. We'll answer all these questions down the line.
Now that we saved this, I feel like this happened.
What, that it was pawned at Pawn Stars? I really did break my pen. Oh, man. Damn it. All right. Nonetheless, Jenks is going to look stuff up. Ryan, this is your time. Give everybody your spiel about the Final Count, buddy.
Well, you can catch the Final Count on pretty much any podcast platform that you enjoy listening to your podcast on. You can also watch us on YouTube as well. So you have the video option or a listening option. We encourage you to do both. Then we have sponsors. We have Collar and Elbow, just like Can Crushers does here. But support Can Crushers. But ours,
and if you're listening to us over on the other one, support Final Count.
Exactly. And if you want to use our code is Final Count KY on when you check out, you save yourself 10% at checkout. You can also get our one of our official shirts or hoodies at jcountyapp.com. That's jcountyapp.com. You can go there, and the hoodies are $45 and the t-shirts are $25. Or you can go to our website, and I do not know the website by heart, unfortunately. But you can get our second official shirts And it has basically the only thing that's different. I have mine on tonight. The only, and you can't see it because
we're audio.
Yeah, because we're audio.
Yeah, right.
If you could, I'm wearing mine tonight. Mine has my name on it, but no one else will have their name on it. Just the host and co-host. But you get the logo on it. You get on the back of it, it has all of where people can find our social media, all that good stuff. You can find us also, by the way, at the Final Count KY on Instagram, on Twitter, or X as it's now known as, on TikTok as well. And then Facebook.com // the Final Count KY. And then we also now have Doobie as well, 10% off at Doobie when you go to checkout. So go and support us the same way you support Can Crushers here. But if you're listening to the Can Crushers, support them. If you're watching us or listening to us, support
them. We said the same. We mimic the same thing Ryan just did on his yesterday. So if you're listening to, over there, yeah. And this is not the last time you'll see Ryan this year. Ryan pops up every once in a while, but we are making this a quarterly thing. So for the big pay-per-views, Ryan will be back to break down probably SummerSlam, essentially. And then we'll move on from there and see what else is up. We did the Royal Rumble. So, Ryan, it's always a blast to have you on, brother. I love you.
Oh, I love you both back. And Jenks, it's been a pleasure. Last night meeting you as we recorded last night. Thursday night. This is now Friday if you're listening to it Saturday.
Or Sunday. It depends on when you listen.
Or Sunday or any day after that. But anyways.
4 weeks from now, yeah.
I loved meeting you last night. And then even again today or tonight.
I echo the same, Ryan. It was great hanging out and talking wrestling with you. Loved it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and then real quick, I was just saying about this. How cool is it with how far both podcasts have come? Not to get emotional here, but how far both of us have come. And since we've met, I wasn't doing video. The audio was I was using my iPad at the time, and look where we're at now. So cool.
Yeah, kicking ass and taking names.
Yes.
All right, guys. Listen to this, and we'll be right back.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best Can Crushers Podcast. Well, that, my friends, is just incredible.
It's time to whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, segment 3. Mark, we just had
You're all about NXT.
Well, I'm not about NXT. We got a shout out Whoop. Got a shout out Trick. Whooping that ass of Mello on Saturday. But
was that your favorite? We'll do this quick because this wasn't even anything. But was that your favorite? Was that your favorite match of the NXT?
Man, the women's title match really did it for me. I would say this was a close second for me. Yeah. I think that was the case. You made a strong argument on Final Count, which if you guys are listening now, go listen to that one right after this. You made a strong argument that the title match, the NXT title match, closely followed the women's one. I thought that was interesting.
In story, that's why it lost for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't get me wrong, I love Dragunov, I do, but I don't think he's long in the tooth in NXT. We've kind of thought, and it may have been ruined as well with Roxy showing up on Raw.
Yeah.
With Julia being in the crowd waving at her, essentially saying, "You ain't going to have that title long." So.
You done.
Yeah.
You're done after this. Yeah. I would agree. So, man, just give me Dragunov, Gunther, Mania.
If
Mania
you
41.
haven't watched, if because you didn't engulf the whole 37 and a half hours of professional wrestling, and there's nothing going on this weekend, rain in Pennsylvania, by the way, watch Stand and Deliver. We're not telling you not to watch it, because it was a hell of a show.
It was a great show.
So if you haven't caught anything but just reading the blurbs and everything, go and actually see the action, because even the three big men, Briggs and Dijak and shit, I deleted my notes. Oba. Yeah. Was unbelievable.
Femi's is the new super athlete of NXT right now, with Braun moving to the main roster, basically. Dijak back to his old form. This was his best match since him and Keith Lee tore down the house in Portland. And it just underrated in terms of it. We talked about how things broke down and how matches aligned. There was not a bad match on the NXT card. There was a lot of great matches. Definitely watch it if you got time this weekend. And like Mark said, it's going to be raining up here in PA, so we're definitely catching that.
Do your thing.
Yep.
I did mention back in segment 1, we did get a couple Ask Can Crushers questions before we dive in.
Yeah. Well, now we got, okay, what do we got? All
right. So we got 2. I'll read this one first, because that's the way you read questions. I'm an idiot. Do you think,
no, you're not,
with this new era of WWE, that Triple H will follow the indies and start some intergender wrestling in WWE? Imagine the matches that could happen. Kyle.
I don't think it's following the indies, but I think it's out of necessity. And what I mean by that is Rhea Ripley is going to dominate the women's division, and she's going to need opponents. She's already dominated pretty much all of it, and you can only feed her ones and twosies for a little bit of time. She's going to have a China run with the Intercontinental title. Potentially one of the mid-card titles. I think it's going to have to happen because Rhea's going to need a challenge.
I agree. I will still say yes, they're going to follow the indies, because this is the indies have been doing this essentially.
Right.
And in the old regime, we keep bringing this up, it kind of was PG, and you don't want to see, I'm just throwing this out there, throw hate at me. You don't see the brutality, essentially, of, say, Omos against Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Do you see the separation that I'm trying to create there?
Yep.
It's not PG anymore. We've moved past that. We're moving into maybe PG-13 again, or, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get NR or anything like that ever again in WWE, because it's so mainstream. But it's still the family show, but you can get off with it, because I'm always thinking of ratings and everything. And this pen broke the fuck all over me now that I'm just playing with. Yeah, it is what it is. I just think you're right that it is Rhea, and it could be Jade in time, and there's more. I mean, we could put a litany of I wouldn't mind seeing Alexa going after Sami Zayn. I think that could be a cool match, or Bianca. I mean, there are a ton of opportunities. So we're both on the same page. Necessity, yes, because of Rhea. Because she is we've said it with Ryan, we've said it before, we've said it for a while, that she is your face, essentially. Mm-hmm. She's going to run amok. But I think there's money matches. Say Becky and Seth don't leave. We get a Becky Seth match? Who is going to be, now I'm going to look at it in the wrestler's terms, who's going to protect each other? Well, they clearly are, right?
Yeah.
They could work a match. Wouldn't that be cool? There's storylines of divorce and hatred and anything. WWE has left everything on the table before. Seth and Becky going at it over something? I don't know. That'd be cool. So
custody of Rue.
See, I didn't want to go down that path. You didn't do that. Brutal.
Listen, they're just going off the Eddie storyline. That's it.
Well, that's exactly where I was going, essentially.
Yeah.
But yes, I think, Kyle, I think we will start seeing this dabbled in between. I think it's Rhea to get their feet wet first, though, and then you could. How about Zelina and Ricochet? All these matches would be cool. So I think it happens soon.
I would agree with that. I think 2025 they're going to dabble with it. Rhea maybe in the men's rumble. just to kind of tempt the water there, and maybe something spurs out of it from there.
Yeah.
Because remember, Baron hitting Becky with the end of days in that Extreme Rules match was monumental.
Yeah.
People lost their shit about that.
Yeah.
And an otherwise forgettable main event, let's be honest. But that moment really captured. There's a desire to watch it because, let's be honest, women are equal, and that there's some women that can whoop men's asses that are out there.
Yeah. And if you make it in WWE style of story, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, you make it WWE style, Rhea should be your Universal Champion or whatever, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And listen, there's not people choking each other out backstage at WWE. This is going to be something pretty straightforward. It would be a professional way to do it, and they protect each other in the match, making sure it happened.
Yeah. So, Kyle, great question. I didn't think of that, but it's a strong possibility. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Next one, and last one for the week. Hey, guys, I know Ask Can Crushers was a few weeks ago, but I hope you answer this anyway. Of course we will. What do you feel were some of the best and worst main events at Mania? Jeff from Poughkeepsie.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, that's a good one.
Jeff, yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. We're not answering your question. No. This is great. This is great. We could probably name off 40, good or bad, right? Maybe not good, but you know where I'm going. I mean, if we're going to just stick with main event matches, I do like that. So the final match is what we're going to maybe classify as a main event.
Yeah.
Last week's could probably be in this list. Worst, I would think, is Bam Bam and LT. But Jeff, you've created another special for us. And I know everybody's like, oh, you guys keep saying these specials. We've told you before. It's for when one of us are on vacation or whatever. They're coming, though. We still have the eras that we liked. We still have the themes that we like. Now, this one would probably get ready for the hate for the other people that have been waiting now for a year. But I think this is the first one we do.
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Right in line with WrestleMania and that. There's some good ones.
I'll tell you, I'll release this, that there probably will be a special coming up not rather shortly, but probably within the next month or two for sure, because there's, on vacation, I'm going to the hot dog eating contest, and I know we're out to report early.
The hints are being dropped here. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, all right, so it's July. The weekend of July, the 4th of July weekend.
You're good. What is
I'm going, that's a couple months away, I guess.
Yeah, that's a little while away.
Yeah.
Wait, you're going to Coney Island?
Yeah, me and the Patlano boys are going to go to Brooklyn from the 2nd until the 7th. And one of the things, because, they're clearly from there. Yeah. They're like, you just want to go back home, do you want to join us? And, all the good eats, all the good drinks, all this and that, and just roam around. I'm like, when are we going? Because I've already invited myself.
Yeah.
They're like, the 2nd to the 7th, Mark. We just said that. I said, we're going to be there for the 4th of July. They're like, yeah. I said, do you remember what happens on the 4th of July? They're oblivious to this all of a sudden. I'm like, can we please go to the hot dog eating contest? And then all of their eyes lit up. They're like, oh. So 2 things that are on the docket are we're going to go to the hot dog eating contest, and then we're going to go see the Brooklyn Cyclones. Clearly, the Yanks aren't in town, but we're going to see the Brooklyn Cyclones and then the hot dog eating contest, and then I'll give a shit what we do. My life will be complete. That's after amazing. Screaming for Joey Chestnut. And if he's not there this year, I am going to lose my shit.
The 1 year he doesn't show up.
Or he loses this year.
Oh, yeah, this would be the year you broke you finished his story, you broke his streak.
For showing up?
For showing up.
I don't know. So, around that time, I know definitely there will be a special. There, lives happen, but we will get these specials going. But Jeff, from Poughkeepsie, I love the name. I love just saying Poughkeepsie, by the way.
Poughkeepsie is a great name.
Have you ever been?
No, never been.
Me neither. Maybe we need to go to Poughkeepsie. What do you do in Poughkeepsie? There wrestling shows happen in Poughkeepsie. I know that. There's been wrestling.
They do go, yeah. They go a lot to Poughkeepsie. And there's some big ones in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah. Unlike Toronto, which loves us, by the way. In Montreal now, too. And
we're a man of Canada. That's all we are.
All right. Jeff, not being a dick, but this is definitely noteworthy for a special. So, yeah, we've named some of them, 2 of them, but we'll have to see what's on the list here in July. AEW time. Jenks, now.
Yeah.
We've discussed nobody probably watched Collision, right?
No way. If you did, you watch it on DVR. We're proud of you. But nobody was watching it after midnight on Sunday morning, essentially, at that point.
Right. To wake up to watch it. By the way, next week we'll go over our Slammies, too, by the way. Because we're getting long. We'll go over, and they threw in some extra categories. We'll go over our Slammy predictions next week, how they came out and all that. But, why the hell did they put them on at 10:30 on Sunday? Why not put them on during the pre-show, like we said, or an hour before the pre-show?
That would have made so much more sense. Just cut off the pre-show or at least catch an audience beforehand. You know what I mean? Because not everybody was turning on the pre-show right away.
No.
But I didn't get it. I did not get it. Maybe they couldn't get the time slot.
Yeah. Be prepared. People are home. So, yeah, the dogs are happy. They're in the background. All right, let's talk about what happened on AEW this week. And we're not going to talk about wrestling whatsoever.
No, because let's be honest. There's only 2 things. First of all, the wrestling was, they tried to do a Samoan named Joe versus a guy named Rhodes main event, which was a little too on the nose. But it was all about All In again. And what WWE says about certain athletes. But let's start with the All In again. Why? Why did we know the why, basically, because Punk made the comments on Ariel's podcast the week before. So then there was the necessitated need to show the footage to vindicate people. At the end of the day, it didn't really vindicate many people or anything that was taken, and it just left the question, why are we being this petty?
I'm more of, like, the Bucks are using this as now, I thought they were just going to say, here's what really happened. They would have brought in character maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
They put this in a storyline now, which is even dirtier.
Yeah.
I think. Because it was all about FTR, yada, yada, yada. Are we getting the rise and fall of AEW sooner than we think?
The unfortunate thing is we may be. I mean, 2 of their announcers were completely disgusted by it. One's told his son to explore his options when the time comes.
Speaking of
Hook, this was something completely unnecessary. This is where you just don't say anything. It's better not to talk about it.
It's 8 months ago.
It's 8 months ago. You're past it. You're trying to grow your product. You're trying to leave it in the past. Why are you bringing it back up now?
Right. It did nothing for them. And listen, you know how we don't really pay attention to ratings or anything, but the ratings were up, I think, like 68,000. So it didn't do anything.
It didn't move the needle. Didn't move the demo. Here's what needs to, for AEW's sake, this was absolute. This is probably their finger poke of doom. If we talk about the rise and fall of AEW, this is the finger poke of doom segment.
This was trash TV this week.
This was trash TV. My thought is go back to what you know and focus on the younger talent. You have a lot of older talent in there still. Well, one particular that needs to go away. Focus on your younger guys. Build your brand. Build your thing. Run smaller arenas. Then get back to where you were before. Not have Ron Todd Flanders run out there and start talking up shit about what happened in the past and using it for a storyline. Does nobody any good.
It didn't. Next week we will talk more AEW. We will. Yeah. Because we'll talk about the shows and the lead up to Dynasty and everything. But it was just a sour taste this week. It really was. Mm-hmm. And the other one that we're going to bring up, I'm kind of upset that he did more than I didn't see Ospreay going after Triple H. Like, I didn't, do you think he was put up to it? Do you think it was actually him? Renee looked like she was disgruntled being there. Yeah. In the same stupid fucking shot that we saw last week that I didn't like.
Yeah, well, yeah, I saw that, came back, and I was like, God fucking damn it. Part of me thinks, I know reports came out, day of recording, that, he did it, it was his own idea, da-da-da-da-da. It was probably his own idea, but that he had enablement from the EVPs and the owner. They were like, yeah, definitely use this. Use this to your advantage. Do it. Guys, let it go. The man, I get it. You know, you can make the argument, he's traveling across seas, da-da-da-da-da. Somebody brought up the point, okay, he travels 8 to 10 hours to and from. Wrestlers travel 8 to 10 hours 4 days a week in WWE for 20. Yeah, exactly.
The Indies for 20.
On the Indies for $20. This is
your life that you signed up for.
This is the life you signed up for. So last week when Triple H made the comment, I'm like, we didn't need to make the comment. It was what it was. Da 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 da. This week you belabor the point and you kind of take the shot back, and it's like, dude, why? Why even go for it? Why even make that type of thing? Why even make that comment? Back to back, it was a black hole.
And it's been 3 weeks now of this. Like when Edge did his, or Copeland, damn it. When Copeland did his, I was like, yeah. But now we've been beaten with this for 3 weeks. Okay. Whatever. There's more stories that will come out. I bet you this isn't done, Jenks. No, I bet you something else. Tony gets on his high horse and we're going to see something else. We're going to go back and see the first time.
He is going to do something. I don't know what he does.
Nobody does anymore.
He's such a wild card with these things. Like, he was under check before, but now he's just too much of a wild card. And that's the scary part.
Do you think, and this is a really question that just popped into my head, do you think he's a little bit more off kilter, that maybe like Omega was the one always pulling him in, but the Bucks, listen, I love Matthew and Nicholas, don't get me wrong, but they do love stirring shit.
Yeah.
Maybe Omega was the one always pulling Tony, don't do that. Omega's not here. I mean, we thought it was Danielson pulling him in. Well, Danielson's on the card. I know he didn't show it on Collision, but Danielson could have talked to him.
But Danielson, I think, stirs the shit too, based on some of his actions in the past. I think you're right. I think Omega is the lone professional in the EVP room right now, and he's the one that says, check it, don't do this, back off. You know, it's not what you should be thinking, da-da-da-da-da. There's no conscience right now in that front office, because Cody would have been the other one that did it too.
Yeah.
There's just no conscience, and maybe that's something that needs to be explored. Once Cody left, once Kenny left, and once Cody left, it kind of lost its moral compass.
It did.
2019 to 2022, early 2022, it had a moral compass. It had a thing to follow. It had somebody to check some of the ideas of an old school mentality. He left. It was up to Kenny. Then you started seeing things slip through the cracks. You started seeing the Bucks get more involved, more rambunctious, more stirring the shit. This is where the thing deteriorated with Punk. And then now we're left with what we're left with, a whole hell of a lot of mess.
We're Kennyless and going down a deep path.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's not good at all. The boss left in 2022.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been one since.
Mm-mm. No. And that's sad.
That's very sad.
We love the talent on AEW. We love seeing this, but listen, we on Cat Crushers, we usually don't explore something like this, but this is, I think, something we really have to pay attention to, explore more of the antics right now. And I don't know if that's what Tony wants for the eyes of the company, but that's what he's getting, the antics. You're not getting, we're not watching or caring about great matches.
Yeah.
Listen, really, the Samoa Joe, Dustin Rhodes match, that's another shot that nobody in 2024 thought, cared, or needed. And again, I love Dustin. I love Samoa Joe. They're two workers out there getting a paycheck. Go do your thing. We're going to promote this as the match right after WrestleMania or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
When this maybe should have been match 2 of the card and call it a day. Anything would have been better than this. I mean, and to your point, it was the shot at WrestleMania week for AEW, and they missed horribly and shot themselves in the foot.
The whole week was bad.
The whole week was bad. It's self-inflicted. This is their worst week.
Yeah. And I don't know what's that saying? Good or bad publicity is publicity. Essentially, yes, on paper it is. But bad for so many weeks in a row now, you're losing it. I want to see the buys after. And like we always say, we don't look at the buys, we look at the stories, we look at the wrestling, we look at all that, and we enjoy AEW. This is going to hurt the buys of Dynasty.
Yeah. There's only so much good matches can do to retain your audience. And if your whole product is predicated on taking those shots, nobody wants that.
No.
Like, it was fine when it was one-off, MJF making the comments. Okay, then some other guy made the comments. It's your wrestlers. It is what it is. It's a whole different face when it's your company's heads saying, well, we need to show the video. We need to make fun of them. We need to do this. We need to do that. I would even go as far as saying, had Ospreay made these comments without the Young Bucks showing the All-In video beforehand, I think it's a blip on the radar.
We pop for the interview and then we forget
about it. And be like, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't have said it, but whatever, we move on. But it was so blatant this week that they had to take the shots and that they were incorporating them that it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
So stirring the pot, Punk started this. And I'm not saying the All-In thing. Punk now started the demise again of AEW.
Oh, yeah. He knew what he was doing.
So if you don't answer, you take the high road. You don't show something that looks like a high school pissing match.
Yeah.
Okay. And now all of a sudden we get scapegoat shirts on TV, and Jack Perry's going to be back in the champion in 3 months.
Oh, yeah. I will go this far and say this. If you brush this under the rug, don't even show the footage, just ignore it. You want to bring the scapegoat back as part of the elite, because that's probably going to happen too. Cool. Fine. Make that happen. But don't rehash something that was such a black eye on your marquee, your biggest event you've ever done.
Yep. And that's what I will let you finish. That's making All In look like the worst pay-per-view they've ever had.
Oh yeah,
we're forgetting about what happened there.
Yeah, we've forgotten that the main event of their biggest pay-per-view was MJF Adam Cole.
Yeah.
We're forgetting there was anarchy in the arena in London. We're forgetting there was a lot of other matches going on. I couldn't even name the matches. Tell you, FTR Bucks, that was a fantastic match that we have to forget about because we were too focused on this bullshit. This bullshit past 8 months ago. Let it go.
We're wrestling fans through and through. There is time that I wish, never that we didn't have a podcast, but there was more kayfabe. There shouldn't, hey, CM Punk got fired because of backstage antics. The night after, 2 weeks after, just write him off the show, whatever.
Yep.
And we always question, oh, this is storyline, blah, 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 blah. It was on social media before the show was over. It was this, it was that. I think too much is out. And then when you have TK showing us now, well, why don't we just get full on, what are those cameras that you can, I know they're called body cams, but
GoPro.
Yeah. Why don't we just get full on GoPros and put that footage in the locker room so we can see everything now?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. I want to know who wanted to really see this video. I could have given a shit in the next 47 years of my life if I would have saw this.
Well, exactly. Even with Punk's comments, I didn't care to see it. There's no reason to see it. Okay, Punk said this, whatever. Leave it at that.
Yeah. Take the higher road. Again, that's why I used to say number one doesn't talk about number two because they know.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
But number two doing this makes them number three.
They're basically, yeah.
So, that's all I got. We will talk about Dynasty next week. We'll make our predictions. We'll still give everybody their comeuppance in AEW next week. It's just a lot of wrestling this week. We did watch it. It just wasn't, AEW just sour.
Didn't do it.
No.
Yeah. I get it. AEW did what they did, and it was
a bad move.
Bad move indeed.
So what do you got coming up for the week, brother?
Coming up this week, we got haircut appointments. We got big shout out to the.
That's the first thing you bring up. You got a busy week.
Got a busy day tomorrow, that's for sure. But probably the biggest thing coming up is the birthday celebration of Miss Kimberly. She will be celebrating another milestone birthday. So happiest birthdays to her. Next
Happy
week.
Birthday, Kimberly. Love you.
We love you. It'll be fantastic. Days off on her birthday, so we're just gonna hang out, do stuff around the house, and take her out to a nice lunch and all that stuff. So
nice,
pretty cool.
Nice. I got a couple interviews and sports, baseball and softball have started, but it's been cold and rainy and cold and cold and cold, so not apropos for like radio equipment and radio people to be standing outside. So next week is our first scheduled games. I got 2 games next week, so that'll be cool. And then, yeah, maybe you'll find out next week where I was.
Interesting.
Maybe.
That's what we call a teaser, folks.
Don't forget, though, next Saturday, a week from today, New Era Pro Wrestling is at the North Pocono High School. Get out there, support them, get your tickets, do a lot of cool things. Announcement, I will not be there. Stuff going on. I'm not saying I'm not ever going to New Era, just not the right time now. So will not be there for the first show. Kind of really bummed about it, but it is what it is. Maybe May show, definitely by June show, I would imagine. Just have to see where the cards are dealt. So yeah, we'll see. Just support them though. Loves for Nathaniel and all those guys there. We'll have them on the show maybe to kind of do a recap of how the first show went and all of that. But yeah, just that's my sad announcement, and I just wanted to tuck it away at the end.
Makes sense. It's sad, unfortunate, but you know what? Once you're able to go, it'll be fantastic. So
I will still rule with an iron fist and fuck that roster up.
Corruption.
Remember, just because you try doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.